so where was I? Court will now reconvene for the trial of Maggie Bird. Mr. Godot, your next witness, please. The prosecution calls the lucky old-timer who caught the show over a cup of coffee. Will the witness please take the stand? Name and occupation if you don't mind. The name is Victor Kudo, born and bred in the land of the rising sun. Honor and duty are what make me. Mind you, I can be quite emotional at times too. We don't need to hear about that, Mr. Kudo, just tell the court your occupation. My occupation? Listen, youngin. How much code do you think there is for kimono embroidery here? Kimono embroidery? That's what I do, or did back in Japan, embroider family crests on kimonos. My ancestors were embroidering kimonos before this country even existed. Wow, real craftsmen, they are dying breed. Hey, maybe he could embroider my costume sometime. Anyway, like I said, there's not much demand for that kind of thing here. So I had to take a job working the cash register at the burger joint, pretending to smile. That burger joint would have been better off putting him in the kitchen. Now then, witness, were you in the restaurant at the time of the incident? Oh, yes, I was eating some seeds over a cup of javakino. Seeds? What do you think these are, I see. So everything that happened, Gramps. Did I? Oh yes I did. I saw it all. Then please tell the court. We are all ears. Sure, I'll tell you every last detail. He is really getting into it. Okay, what I witnessed. The young man was reading the sports paper. The serving girl brought him a javakino, but she put something in it. The man took one sip of it and looked like he was in a terrible pain and then collapsed. That's the serving girl, right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. Case closed. Mr. Kudo, she is not the serving girl. Please refer to her as a waitress. Ha! You are as bad as the rest of them. All these newfangled words. What's wrong with old-fashioned ones, Newfangled? All this talk of radios and glasses, it's wireless and spectacles, I tell you. Excuse me? Listen to me, everyone. Don't forget the old values. Don't let the good old days slip away. Well, I think it's time to begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You remember her, you say? You said, I remember her well, in a reference to the waitress. Did she have any particular features that you can identify her by? Particular features? It's a disgrace, that's what it is. Sorry? You can see all the way up to her hair, you know. She's practically naked in that uniform. So the particular feature you recognize about the waitress is her outfit? But anyone could wear just such a uniform, even me. Mr. Wright, please spare the court of any further mental anguish from that image. Don't get all excited, Nick. You've gotta keep yourself together. I guess I got a bit carried away. There are other things I recognize about her too. He seems pretty sure of himself. What should I do? Press harder every time. Sure, you saw a waitress take the coffee over to the victim. But what matters is whether that waitress was Maggie Bird or not. Quite right. Mr. Kudo, these other features that you recognize about the defendant, I would ask you to add them to your testimony. Sure. There was a ribbon in her hair, and her apron straps were loose. You do seem to remember several details about her appearance, but what about the most crucial detail of all, her face? As if I wouldn't remember that.
Objection!
The witness noticed the straps of the accused apron. He's unlikely to make a mistake about her face. That's right, I can even tell you the color of the ribbon in her hair. It was red. So you see, there's nothing wrong with the witness' eyesight. There's no doubt he remembers the waitress pretty well. What should I do? I get the feeling there's something more to this somehow. Ask about the waitress's bag. The identifying features you described are all things you would see from the back. So what? Is it possible that you never saw the waitress from the front at all? Ha! He's got you there, Gramps. People normally talk about facial features when they are asked to describe someone. But this witness's testimony is nothing but straps and ribbons. This is harassment. I tell you I'm not obsessed with straps or ribbons. I'm just telling you what I saw. Mr. Kudo, the court requests that you add details about any identifying features. Features you observed from the front, that is, to your testimony. Sure. This old man's testimony is getting longer and longer. And if I can't find a hole in it soon, it will get even longer, I bet. There wasn't anything that caught my interest about her when I saw her from the front. Not even her boobies. Mr. Kudo, I would like you to please look at this. Take a look at this. Ha, the filthy thing would suit filth like you just perfectly. Actually, it reminds me of what my grandson looks like just after he's done eating. Have you ever seen this before? Of course I haven't. Do you think I forget something as dirty as that, Well, you half-witted clot. What? What is it? Ever since I said you half-witted clot, there's been an eerie silence in here. Mr. Kudo, this apron is the apron worn by the defendant on the day of the poisoning. Huh? And as you just said yourself, you wouldn't forget something like this. Which means, if you had really seen this apron before, Yes, you know what I'm getting at. You couldn't have possibly seen the waitress from the front. Oops. Witness, you can just say, oops, your way out of this. Ha. Well. Looks like we finally have a genie trial on our hands. Listen, try it. Here are the facts. On the day of the incident, there was only one waitress in the restaurant. That being the defendant, Miss Maggie Bird. Exactly. And when that one waitress put the poison into the coffee cup, this old guy was watching. I hope you understand the gravity of the situation, Mr. Kudo. The fate of the defendant may rest on what you say you remember seeing. Just tell the court exactly what you saw, Gramps. You can rely on me, Captain. My noggin's Sancho or Shoemarine. My noggin's in perfect working order. I can't remember a single occasion when I forget what the burger customer wanted. He can't remember? Probably more like he messed up so many times he's blocking it out. Very well, that's just how good your memory and attention to detail is, Mr. Kudo. Tell us what you remember about the victim, my man. About the victim. He was another of those pesky young types, wearing a broken pair of spectacles. He had a newspaper in his right hand, and the nosy brat kept rustling its pages. The young man was listening to the wireless, I remember that well. Then the serving girl in question brought over the Javakino. The little fidget picked up the cup with his free hand and took a sip. The testimony we have just heard was to test how credible the witness's memory is. It seems to me that he remembers the victim in great deal of detail. Oh yes, I hate those you-know-what types who are so vague about everything. How are we going to handle this, Nick? We are just going to present the coffee cup on the 5th sentence. We only need to do one thing. We just need to prove that the old man's memory is shot. Just trip him up. You mean? Isn't that kind of cruel? I suppose, but it's what I do best. It should be this. No? Yes. Mr. Kudo, do you remember what you were told at the start of this testimony? That this was a way of testing the credibility of your memory. I know. There's something wrong with my memory, I tell you nothing. If I got anything wrong, I will eat these seeds and sing the pigeon song. Care to tell us where this is going, right? According to Mr. Kudo, the victim was holding the paper in his right hand, while drinking coffee with his free hand, which would make that his left. What is this, kindergarten? But I would like the court to please take a look at this. That's the cup the victim used, correct? Yes, and on the rim you will notice the mark left by the victim's lips. Yes, there is a stain left by the coffee. If you consider where the stain is, you will clearly see that the victim was holding the cup in his right hand. See a right hand 1. See a left hand 0. But how? Well, Mr. Kudo, the court is waiting for your epic performance. You said you would eat those seeds and sing the pigeon song. Mr. Kudo, I hate you. I'm afraid this is simply not acceptable. I think the witness had better go up to the park. Wait. If you think I'm going to stand here and listen to you tell me I'm mad, you're wrong. I don't care about the dirty coffee cup. I know what I saw. You still insist on your testimony? That young brat was holding the cup in his left hand. Oh yes, no question. I'm good law-abiding citizen I am. It's that young hotbutt and you spiky-haired yahoo who are at fault. Who, me? Thank you, old man. We have heard quite enough from you already. Don't call me old man. Been around for 68 years I have. You can't ignore me. Listen to what I've got to say. I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but sure, why not? Oh, that's Godo. Sure, why not hear a little more? Mr. Godo. But this is my 16th cup of coffee. So this is your final stand. Thank you, Captain. You can rely on Victor. The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens on his specs. He kept fiddling with it all the time. He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the cup, too. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup, his left hand. We know that the victim was wearing an unusual monocle over his left eye. It wasn't a monocle, Your Honor. It was a small computer monitor often used by the programmers. A monitor? You mean like television screen? The inside of the lens is a screen that displays computer data. It's called an HMD. It's a common tool in the victim's line of work. HD, TV, DVD, CD, all these newfangled leather drive me mad, but they don't matter. I know what I saw and I'm telling the truth. It's true. It doesn't seem to be lying. And those are the facts, in good old black and white. I'm sorry, old man, but I gotta put you down on the first sentence. I'm not sure what the relevance of this is, but Mr. Kudo, there is something very strange about your observations of the victim. What? You say he was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the HMD. No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt. I could only see that side of his head from where I was sitting. I don't think so. What did you say? You are no doubt unaware of this fact, Mr. Kudo, but the victim couldn't hear with his left ear. His eardrum was ruptured. Eh? Traces of medication for his condition were found in his ear canal. That's right, it's impossible that the victim was wearing his earpiece in his left ear, because he couldn't even hear in that ear. Is that true, Captain? It is. Pigeon! Pretty pigeon! Pretty pigeon! Pretty pigeon! Order! This witness's testimony is completely unreliable. He only saw the waitress from behind. And he claims the victim was wearing an earpiece when he knew his eardrum was ruptured. Well, Mr. Godot? A single drop of milk is all it takes to destroy the pure black magic in the cup. This old man is my drop of milk. Captain, are you calling me a drip? This is the victim's coffee cup in which the potassium cyanide was found. The mark on the rim clearly shows that the victim picked it up with his right hand. I never back down, I know I'm right. The lad drank his Javakino with his left hand. That may put you out of your misery, clearly. The victim used both hands. He took a sip with the cup held in his right hand, and then he switched to his left. That's what the old man saw. Impossible. The witness has already testified on numerous occasions that the victim died immediately after taking just one sip of the coffee. Which hand the victim used to pick up his coffee is irrelevant, Your Honor. The facts still stand. With one hand or the other, Mr. Egg drank the poisoned coffee. Like this! Sadly, Mr. Godot, that doesn't wash. The point of this testimony was to establish whether the witness's memory is credible. And the results are clear. The testimony given by this witness is useless. God damn. Get wrecked. I believe it is time to conclude today's proceedings. I am satisfied that the witness is not deceiving the court. But to be frank, his testimony is a farce. Did you have to be so frank? Take that, you pompous old man. I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, you can't reach me from there. I'm ordering the defense and the prosecution to investigate this case further. That is all for now. This court is adjourned. Hold it. Wait. If you stop now, where does that leave me? Leave you, Mr. Kudo? Thanks to that blue-suited young upstart over there. I'm just a bumbling old man who can't even dot his T's or cross his E's now. What the fuck is... How is your bad memory my fault? I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but there's nothing I can do. I kept my mouth shut until now, but there's something else the court should know. What? There's more? To be perfectly honest, it might not be anything, but I want another chance. I want another crack at you, you young shark. Me? He's looking at me like I'm some sort of evil shogun. Well, everyone, what do you have to say to one final showdown? The final chapter in this eccentric old man's scrapbook. Sorry, Gramps, but I have already had my 17th cup of coffee. What have you got to lose, Captain? Sancho-san, I'll give you all the Javakino you want if you come to my house after the trial. I may be 68 years old, but I'm Victor Kudo. But Victor Kudo is still a man. That's enough, witness. I believe it will be quicker for the court to just hear your testimony. You bet. Much quicker. I can't believe this is happening. You better get ready, youngster. Get the picture, just quit throwing those seeds at me, would you? He's gotta be using some sort of infinite ammo code in that box of seeds. Final showdown. First of all, I want to stress that this might be nothing. I'm not too sure of myself. The young boy slumped over the table as soon as he took one sip of his Javakino. Well, the clumsy idiot upset the vase. It knocked it right over. It broke and the strip of the cloth covering the table got completely soaked. Well, how about that? Turn things upside down, hmm? Yeah, sure. Is that all? Yes, that's all. I remember it perfectly. You're doubting me again? You're doubting a poor defenseless old man? No, we're not doubting you, Mr. Kudo. Don't you get the feeling there's a question hanging on everyone's lips, Nick? Yeah? So what? Probably. That's all I can think of, and I have to cross-examine this guy. You're a bird brain. That's why that's all you can think of. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your final cross-examination, please. This is the final showdown. Final countdown? It's final countdown, that song. Mr. Kudo, this is a photograph of the crime scene. So what? Look carefully at the table. The vase is there, intact. Huh? Lost your tongue, granddad? I'm no granddad of yours. Couldn't read what he said. Enough. If you throw any more seeds in this courtroom, the cleaners will be here all night. Ah, what is it now? I just remembered something. Yes, go on. The broken vase. Huh, it was on my table. What the f... What? Oh, well, you see. It startled me when that young lad collapsed. So I stood up. That must have been when it fell over. The vase on my table, I mean. The vase on your table? Uh-huh. Yes, it was on my table. And that's how my groin came to be so completely soaked. Thank you, Mr. Kudo. You have certainly earned your kudos for today. I would like to ask a question now. Have I have been any use at all? Perhaps that's something you should reflect on yourself, Mr. Kudo. Wait a minute. If that's the case, there's more. I've got more to say. Oh yes, I remember something else. Bailiff, escort the witness out of the courtroom. Wait, listen to me. Well, we seem to have been considerably sidetracked, and I am still not in position to deliver a verdict. The defendant has not been positively identified as the waitress in question. Additionally, there are two disparities in the testimony we have heard thus far. The mark on the coffee cup that the victim supposedly drank from him with his left hand, and the earpiece, which was inserted into his left ear, out of which he couldn't hear. Wow, Nick, you did it. I therefore require both the defense and the prosecution to further investigate the facts. Your Honor. There is one more thing before I call today's session to an end. One more thing, Your Honor? The witness we just heard from. He is most insistent that his testimony should be of use, so he summarized it accordingly into this statement. Okay. You may each have a copy of it if you wish. Whatever. The prosecution doesn't need props like that. You're just really mad, huh? Yeah, I would be too. Very well. Here you are then, Mr. Wright. There are 3 copies, my own, yours and Mr. Kodo's. Yes, Your Honor. When the incident occurred, I broke the vase at my seat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry? This isn't a piece of testimony, more like a 5-year-old apology. What the heck are we supposed to do with 3 copies? That is all. This court is adjourned. Yes, I wish to save investigation. So how do you think the trial went this morning? How do you think it went? We got a bit crazy in there. I just wonder if that killed our chances. Yeah, I guess it did get out of hand. Mr. Kudo's testimony did nothing to help us. Plus, now we don't even know the identity of the waitress who laced the coffee. All we know is what the old Mr. Kudo saw, the apron straps and the ribbon. And that the victim was wearing an earpiece when his eardrum was ruptured. Talk about a terrifying case of contradictionitus. Time to play doctor and find ourselves a cure then, huh? Huh? Yeah, we've gotta find One for Maggie, or she's going to have a terminal case of guilty. Okay, I'll be right back. I gotta bring something to drink. Okay, well, guess what? Now I have milk, so I can make a proper coffee without getting poisoned. Oh, fuck. But we got questions to ask her too. Maggie, Maggie. Keep it down, Maya. This isn't a playground, you know. Move to Tribulations. Okay, I think I found the... My headset is a bit fucked up. I gotta buy a new one. Okay, seems normal quality. I sniffed at it. Empty as usual. Yeah, and it's lunchtime too. That's it, come on, come on, come on! Hey, that sounds like... Just call an 8, pal! Come on, you know you can. He's getting really worked up about something. No, that's the wrong number! Oh my god! Or, looks like an 8 would have only netted me $5 anyway, what a ripoff. What's the problem, Detective Gumshoe? Huh? Oh, it's you. I was just I was just listening to the radio, pal. So to the radio? Hey, Detective Gumshoe's having lunch here. Detective Gumshoe is the killer. Oh my god. 100%. Okay, now I'm ready to go. This is my first cup of coffee. Sadly with milk. Hey, Detective Gumshoe's having a lunch here. Oh, I already said it. He is, and he's having the twin tea set. Ah, haha. What can I say? Can you say? Today's trial. This is a nightmare. How am I supposed to look in Maggie's eye? How am I supposed to look Maggie in the eye now, pal? You really drove her into a corner, you know. You always blow apart my testimony. Why of all days didn't you do it today? Sorry, there just weren't any holes in it for once. Yeah, what happened? Usually your testimonies are like Swiss cheese. Swiss cheese? Would he have preferred crumbly like aged parmesan? Anyway, this case has already been ruled on. There shouldn't be any holes left to find. So, did Maggie say anything to you? About me, I mean? Well, how did she put it again? I can't believe it. Detective Gumshoe. I hate him, sir, I mean it. I don't ever want to see him again. Something like that. Why would you tell him? Wow. Please, Detective Gumshoe, I didn't mean. Why? Why is this happening? He's banging his head against the wall. Nick? Oh man, poor Gumshoe. And he's now here. So did you like the twin tea set? I've never paid that much money for lunch before. I was so nervous my hands were shaking. So how did it taste? Well, for 20 bucks I guess, I don't know how to describe it really. It was delicate. Delicate? You mean you liked it? It didn't taste bad for you? What's the matter with him? Looks like he's thinking. That's it! I've been trying to think of the right word to describe the taste. And I just realized. It's bad, that's it. It tasted bad. It's just kinda hard to admit it to yourself when you pay 20 bucks for it, you know? Maybe he shouldn't have found out about the price after he had finished eating. Hey Nick, maybe that's why Glenna came here. Maybe he heard about the twin tea set. If by fierce you mean fearsome, speaking of Glenna, that reminds me, you still hardly know anything about the guy. Why don't we ask Detective Gumshoe what he knows, seeing as he's here? Present profile, I guess. This guy was a real programming genius. They called him the walking computer at the place where he worked. What happens when he crashes though? Does he just stop moving all of a sudden? He wasn't literally a computer, Maya. Anyway, there's nothing between Maggie and the victim. Yeah, that's what we found out yesterday too. Hey Detective Gumshoe, don't you have any information that's a bit more fun? Fun? Oh, I know. So, have you paid a visit to where Mr. Elk worked yet? You might as well. His workplace? Where's that? A computer firm called Blue Screens Inc. or something like that. Sounds like real stable company. This could be fun, Nick. Let's go. Computers aren't really my thing, Maya. Be fine. I know all about high-tech stuff. I wonder about that. It's just around the corner from this joint. You should take a look. A computer firm called Blue Screens Inc., huh? The radio. I gotta take a sip from this coffee. Hope I won't get poisoned this time. Okay. So what were you all excited about earlier? Huh? That's right, you said you were listening to the radio or something. Oh, that was nothing. I wasn't excited. Come on, Detective Gumshoe. You can tell a little old me. What were you listening to? Nothing really. That's just the daily exercise show. What the? Psyche-lock? Oh, this lunch special's lobster sure is great. Do I have the ticket? I'm missing something. Where am I? Why are there tears in your eyes? Am I missing something? I should be able to just do it right now, right here, right now. The radio. Alright, Detective Gumshoe, tell me the truth. What were you listening to? No way, Paul. Now that you have now that you have made a big thing out of it, I'm not gonna tell you. You see about that, Paul? Considering all the noise you were making while you were listening, it's pretty clear what kind of radio program it was. I would say it was related to... I'm right, aren't I? You were listening to the lottery results, weren't you? You thought you would try to win big, just like Glenn Egg did. It's like you can see through me. I cracked him already? See, Paul, that's why I said it was nothing. I'm usually pretty lucky, so I figured I will give it a try. What's with everyone and the lottery? So, how did it go? I won 50 cents. I'm better to win nothing at all than half a lousy buck. I was so mad. Yeah, I know the feeling. I bought the same kind of ticket as Mr. Egg, see? And they got this special radio show where they announced the winning numbers. They even do the drawings live on the air. It's intense, Paul. I bet that's what Mr. Egg was listening to on the day of when he was killed. Yeah, what time is it now? Oh, that was Phoenix. Oh, it's just after 1:30. And are the lottery results always broadcast at the same time? Yeah, look, I got this flyer when I bought the ticket. Thanks. Millionaire radio, that sounds cool. I want to try it, Nick. Then buy a ticket, Maya, with your own money. Wrecked. Let's move to blue screens. Whoa, this place is so high-tech, you can almost smell the electricity in the air. There's a computer firm, Maya. They can't work without electricity, you know. Who are you? Oh, hello. I'm sorry. Access is restricted to authorized personnel only. This is a computer programming laboratory. There are far too many trade secrets that could be leaked. Wow, what secrets? I can't speak that fast. I'm giving up this character as well. Wow, what secrets? Everything you see here is classified, no information can leave this building. Understood? Who is this woman? She's like a robot from some kind of edumacation show. My name is Lisa Basil. I'm the company director. Director? She's human? She seems more like a ghost in the shell. And that thing over her eye. Isn't that the same device as Glenn Egg's? That's DMH, right? Nice try. But it's the other way around, Maya. It's an HMD. All of my programmers here at the Blue Screens Inc. are supplied with HMDs. Then, do you write programs too? No, I just enjoy wearing this. They are pretty cool. I wouldn't mind one. Okay, let's talk. So, what exactly is this firm's business? I will try to simplify it so that you can understand. We analyze the data management system required by certain branches of industry and then deliver the optimal operating system and source level components to them. Huh? You lost me on the corner of the analyze and management. It doesn't matter. They analyze stuff. You got that much, right? The software we produce is distributed on CDs. CDs? Yes, compact disc, digital optical storage media. Of course, CDs are used for software as well as music. This is a small firm, but all my employees are first-class programmers. Let's ask one of them what they are doing. Excuse me, what are you working on right now? I'm researching the impact of time slicing common on logical access to shared global variables, influences response time and perform variables and memory overheads is vitally important. Well, you get the idea, this is the heart of the thing we are involved in. Did you good people follow all of that? Yeah. Your blank smile just said otherwise, Maya. What happened? You know about what happened, right, Miss Basil? You mean about Glen Egg being poisoned? Yeah, I know, it's terrible. Can you tell us anything that might be helpful? I don't think so. A police officer was here earlier too. But I couldn't tell him anything either because the waitress who committed the crime has nothing to do with blue screen's ink. Oh. How about Mr. Egg's desk? Have you cleared it out already? No, not yet. It's this one, right in front of you. If there's anything that might be useful to you, you are welcome to take it. No information must be leaked out from this building, but you can take anything you want. I guess there might be some clue here somewhere. Okay, girl. Oh, no clues here. Whoa, look at this desk, Nick. What a mess. Looks pretty average to me, but you can't get any work done with everything all over the place like this, you think? Really, these kids can work under any condition, you know? She's trying to hint that I should tidy my desk more. I'll clean up my desk when Maya stops asking silly questions. No hurry then. Hey, this calendar. What about it? If this is another hint about tidying, you can forget it. Someone's marked December 3rd in red pen. December 3rd? That's the day Mr. Egg was murdered. Is there anything else? Yeah. It says meet with the tiger. The tiger? Glenn's calendar added to the court record. On December 3rd, the day of the incident, there is a note saying meet with the tiger. Oh, this stuff. Whoa, look at this mess. Looks like they are betting tickets. What kind of betting tickets? For betting on which horse will win a given race. They are horse racing tickets. Oh wow, his drawers are stuffed full of these. Looks like they are all losing tickets though. And I'm just taking the trash basically. Because it's evidence. Horse racing betting tickets. Found in Glen Egg's desk. There's 100 of them. This many tickets would get you, what? A bug down at the recycling center? But I didn't know... Oh, that was Phoenix. Oh, well. But I didn't know you were so hard up that you would try to profit from the dead, Nick. I'm just taking them as evidence, Mayo. Yeah. About Mr. Egg. He was a top programmer. I would even say he was a genius. But he did suffer from 1 or 2 bugs in his personality. Oh, like what? He was a bit of loser. Perhaps that would be the best way to describe it. That's what got him into trouble. What's the matter? He was a top programmer. I would even say he was a genius. So he was really no trouble at all, a model employee. Hey, wait a minute. Just now you said something about him being in trouble. You've got to find out what this trouble was exactly. That's psyche like shit, right? About Mr. Egg. What? Was he in some kind of trouble? I'm sorry? Why would you think that? I thought you said something about it just now. You said he got himself into trouble because he was a bit of a loser. Free Psyche Lux. Yeah. I guess Mr. Egg is like every other man with his own pile of secrets. Okay. Moving along. So we can move into the kitchen. January 7th, lesbian kitchen. Huh? Mr. Armstrong talking to someone. I'll be back next month. Ui, not relevant. I've been waiting for you. If you haven't got it by then, I'm afraid it might get a little hot around here. No, I will have everything ready, I promise. I love fire, you know. I love the way it crackles. No, stop it, I beg you. Then, don't let me down. I'll be watching you. This is not necessary. You can trust me, mademoiselle. talk to anyone, and I will drive a knife right through your heart. Oh no, you do not have to worry. You know, you worry far too much. Maybe this will help you relax. It is the oil of sandalwood. I do love raw meat. From time to time. Ah. I'll be taking my leave. Goodbye for now. Fuck. I've lost shivers. I must rub some of my oil all over my body before I become the service wreck. Oi, that feels good. Alright. Oh la la, excuse-moi, monsieur. My eyes. Your eyes? If you have trouble with your eyes, you need this, la oil sandalwood. Isn't this just the leftovers of what you were just using? Whose profile should I present here? You don't exactly have many customers, do you, Mr. Armstrong? No, you are right, monsieur, but perhaps this is the perfect time for you to visit me, non? That way I can give you undivided attention and cook for your little dish supreme. Hi, welcome to the stream. Just in time for the French time, I guess. Putting on a brave face, huh? That was Phoenix. That's what girls do, Nick. But you are right, business is very difficult these days. Perhaps the name is the problem. People do not understand it. They think it's tree. I just wanted people to think that my restaurant was exclusive. But I think you just serve fast food on cheap plastic trays. Nicholas, that's the kind of thing that you can make a girl cry. Have you forgotten that Mr. Armstrong is a man, Maya? That's not a real chef. But this restaurant is my life. It is everything to me. I defend it to la finale. No one will take it from me. The woman just now. So who was that woman you were just talking to? Oh la la, you saw that? Ah, well yeah, sorry. So, who was she? She looked so polite and graceful. Polite? Graceful? Even he said. And she likes raw meat and fires, right? I'll be back next month. Oui, natural lament. I'll be waiting for you. That's what we call a gay porn star. Armstrong looks like he wants to sniff your ass off for $1. He did. He did that. With everyone involved in this case. If you haven't got it by then, I'm afraid it might get a little hot around here. No, I will have everything ready, I promise. Why am I reading these things? This is reminiscence. Now that I think about it. Hey, Maya, I think it's pretty clear what kind of conversation they were having. You think so? Well then let's show him the piece of evidence and see what happens. Oh, okay. Where is it? So long, gay Bowser. So long as that paper exists, I'm but a delightful angel with broken wings. I'm an angel, huh? Doesn't bode well when you think about it. Oui, they kept me arresting me month after month. In the end, I'd agreed to help them. Help them? With what? My bin zur, if it did not owe them the money, I would have been refused. But my hands were tied. Please, what did you agree to help them with? No, I cannot say. If I tell you that woman, she will slice me up and eat with my Vizsla salad garnish. I hope he doesn't mean that he will literally slide up. Why is it highlighted? And serve with garnish. I'm going to guess that woman has something to do with your loan contract, am I right? Ah! Please, Mr. Armstrong, tell us about that woman. That woman just now. The woman who was here earlier, I take it that she's why is it come to this? What a tragedy. Accidentally I found myself so dipped in la depth. It is sign of la bad world we live in, huh? Huh? I would say it's more of a sign of la bad culinary skills. The woman who was here, the scary woman, she is from the loan office. Loan office? Is that where you borrowed $500,000 from? Oui, Tenderlander it is called. Catchy name, just hearing it makes me wanna borrow some money. Please, you must not borrow from them. If you must know more than $10. $10 sounds like your monthly stipend, Maya. Hey, I got a bit more than that, thank you very much. So, Tenderlander is the loan office you borrowed $500,000 from, huh? I wonder if they got anything to do with the case. I'm a weak woman. What? When I am upset, I have to buy something nice to cheer me up. Thanks to them loading me money, I have to pay back $500,000 now. I'm like Isla slave. I have to do everything that as it tells me. Who is this? He? La Tiger. The Tiger? Oui. Elle is la manager of the La Tenderlander. A terrifying man, la big city mobster. When he shouts at me, my knees are trembling and his voice is ringing in my ears for 3 days. As soon as I hear the noise of that battered old scooter he rides, I start to cry. A big city mobster who rides a battered old scooter. Does this guy resemble me by any chance? Oh no, this man has a presence, a most formidable personality. Although, he does have a spiky hair just like you. There is a resemblance there, I suppose. Sounds like this loan office is worth checking out after all. What is it? If you want to visit the Tenderland, it is just beyond Vitamin Square. Hey Nicholas, if you need money, I can loan you some, as long as it's less than $3. Thanks for the offer, just beyond Vitamin Square, huh? Okay, trace bien. Gumshoe. But I'm gonna head back to the pricks inn now. We got a big meeting starting in a bit. About Maggie's case, you mean? No, that's pretty much wrapped up by now. There's another big case going down at the moment, so she's been pushed aside. Okay, well, see you later then. Bye. You better get going, detective, or you'll be late. Actually, I kinda got a favor to ask. It's a big one. A favor? Yeah, it's for Maggie, actually. I was kinda hoping you would give this to her for me. What is it? It's a lunchbox. I got up early so I could make it. I've been really worried about her. She looked like she would lost a lot of weight. Detective Gumshoe. How many weenies are in here? There's not a person on earth who could down this much meat. You think? I love weenies. I can't get enough of their tender juiciness. So, will you give it to her? It took me ages to make, so please, say you will, pal. I can't exactly say no, can I? Tenderly handmade lunchbox. Fills the stomach with love and plenty of weenies. Maybe I eat myself if I get hungry. Don't forget, okay? I'm counting on you too, to give that to Maggie. He's finally gone. No, don't say that. He really is gone. He wasn't in the 5th game, he wasn't in the 6th game. I don't see any sign of Mr. Kudo, do you? Maybe he went to buy another ton of bird seeds. I was kind of hoping he wouldn't be here anyway, at least not for now. Besides, any more seeds today and I'm liable to turn into a real phoenix. Hey, check this out. I wouldn't get too close to that if I were you, otherwise you might be in for a shock. My phony must be lurking someplace nearby. Just imagine a tiger loose in the city. Meanwhile, the real Phoenix is like an abandoned chick, lost in a vast urban jungle. Huh? Don't worry, someday you will grow up and become a ferocious tiger too. Don't lose hope. Why she's trying to peep talk me into becoming my phony? Okay, Tenderlander. This place gives off a really strange vibe, doesn't it? Looks like the tiger isn't in his lair. And that is, as they say, a very good thing. Welcome. Talk about a creepy voice. It makes your soul want to shrivel up and die. I don't have creepy voice here. Just a really slow voice here. You're here to discuss alone? No, not exactly. The manager is away at the moment. Wait quietly, please. She's gone, just like that. I guess we just have to come back another time. But this is the perfect time to... This is the perfect opportunity, Nick. This place reeks of suspicions. Come on, Nick, let's take a look around. Do you think it will be okay? Of course! No one will ever know. Coffee? I'll leave it here for you to enjoy. Quietly. Yes, thank you. Do not touch the desk, please. Nicholas, let's get out here. Now she wants to get out of here. That's one impressive desk on the impressive rug. It's solid gold, Nick. Gold. Just look at the shine. That shine. Only real gold shines like that. Would you really want such a shiny desk though? I don't know, but let's see what it's like to sit at the solid gold desk. Wow, it's completely dazzled. That's because it's completely dazzling. I can see up my nose in the reflection. That's gotta be really distracting. So the desk isn't practical. No surprise there. What the fuck? I wanted to inspect the CD there. There's a CD player on the desk, but the desk is so loud it's a wonder you can hear it. The lid's open. I wonder what kind of music the tiger's into. Have you finished the coffee? Ah. Yes, thanks. It was lovely. So, you drank it all? If you touch anything else that doesn't belong to you, there's always another cup. That coffee, it was laced with something I'm almost sure of. Nick, my stomach is killing me. Oh, wait. Maybe it was just the burger I ate for breakfast? I sure hope so. I had burgers today. We better take a look at that CD while we are still alive and have the chance. What the... What? It's not the Rocco soundtrack, is it? Claw of the Tiger? It's a demo CD. The artist name has been handwritten on the disc in pen. MC Bomber. What? This must be the CD Maggie told us about. Let's listen to it. But it's heavy metal. No way, that woman will make us drink one more coffee if we do. Matryoshka. Hey, look at this Parisian style code. Parisian style code. It's so chic. Looks more like a pimp coat to me. Guess I haven't got an eye for fashion. Hey, look at this. The suit is the same color as the one you wear, Nick. Not really, but close enough. The same color as my suit? Keep your voice down, Maya. Nick, you've got to take a look at some cake. I just leave it here for you. Yeah, sure. Thanks. Just wait here quietly. Otherwise... Sure. Did you hear that, Nick? But wait. Wait quietly, she said. Yeah, sure. I have my eye on you, only so I can take care of you. Understand? Ah, I'm scared, Nicholas. So, what were you getting so excited about before? Look, on the label of this suit. That's attorney's badge. Is the tiger a lawyer? No way, look at this thing, it's made of paper. For some people your badge suddenly looks really cheap to me. Oh, for some reason your badge suddenly looks really cheap to me, Nick. Why does anyone recognize an obviously fake badge when they see one? Let's see, this round doll thing is called Daruma, I think. I figured I would read a book or two and be more cultured in case you are wondering. You mean you aren't making stuff up for a change? Heh, I bet you also didn't know that no matter what he always right himself. Go on, Nick, give him a good shove. Only if I feel like dying. On this yellow thing, this is a Japanese chess piece. I think it's the king. Not I'm an expert on anything, I'm more of a reversey person, you know. Assuming she knows what she's talking about, these aren't exactly your typical mobster wannabe items. They are not trophies, are they? Hey, there's a piece of paper sticking out from under here. What is it? Repair bill. Looks like he did some repair work on his car. Does he even have one? $50,000 to replace a bumper and the light. That's insane. The car's registered to the Cadaverini's? Huh? So it's not even the tiger's car? Why would someone else's repair bill be in the tiger's office? What else do I have to inspect? I guess the tray on the floor? Oh no, someone's dropped the ashtray on the floor. That's going to be a nightmare to clean up. Yeah, it's all over the rug and everything. I accidentally knocked over a really big space heater once. Cleaning up was such a pain. It was one of those super antiques where you have to burn a ton of charcoal. How did she manage to knock one of those over? Aren't they supposed to be super heavy? Oh hey, there's a book here. There's a book of matches here too. Matches, huh? Places don't give those out much nowadays. Hey, wait a second. What is it? Look what's printed on its cover. It says Tribulations. These matches could come in handy. We might be able to use them. Yeah. The pilot light for the office boiler keeps going out. Swing and miss, Maya. Swing and miss. I don't wanna scream here, so I'm just gonna let the text do it. Come out from under the desk, Maya. What are you two snooping around in my office for? Nothing. We were just... My precious carpet just got ash on my rug. You're gonna wish your ugly feet never came through my door. It wasn't us. It was a... You just wanna argue with me? Is that what you're doing? You think you can take me on? I'm gonna flatten you two into pancakes and turn you into my new rugs. Oh, Don Tigre, you're back. Ugh, that voice, it's like evil seeping into your head through your ears. I'm sorry, Don Tigre. I knocked over that ashtray earlier, and... Eek, has she got a death wish or what? Oh, right. Huh? Forgot about Violetta. It's nothing. What? I ain't gonna get mad at you. You are too cute, you hear? That's so unfair. Here, have some cookies. I just baked them. And you will need some strong espresso while you are discussing your loan. Phoenix, right? Yes. You're either crazy or just plain stupid to chase me after me. I worked so hard, but now you could come up and mess up my plan. So it was him. He's my phony. Eh, but I don't care. I'll get you my way. This what? What? I mean, excuse me? You should have left the little girl at home, right? I have a few things I... No questions! This is the last time we meet. Ah, wait, Please! That was pretty weak, Nicholas. You waited until he was out of earshot before you shouted after him. Like you want to talk. I didn't hear you scream hold it either. The espresso. And cookies. This woman is definitely not good for my heart. Now, what was it the tiger called her? Violetta? Tenderlander. So, I'm kind of curious about your company, Tenderlander. With the warm and friendly atmosphere you would expect from a family-sized business. Conscientious fuck that word, rate of interest, and an attractive repayment policy. Why do I get the feeling this sentence is not going to end well? We will tenderly lend you that little bit extra here at Tenderlander. Hey Nick, things are a bit tight for Bright and Cole at the moment, aren't they? I mean, there's that $500 you owe me from our card game for starters. Why don't you take out a loan? Would I like to take out a loan from a place like this? Not so much. Tenderlander is on your side. So let's say I'm late with my repayment. What happens then? You die. We'll give you more coffee. Strong coffee. Right, I think I'd rather skip town. Hey, just remember remember I can make strong coffee too, Nick. Strong tea as well. What happened? So... Do you know about the incident we are investigating? What incident? Well, a man was poisoned in a restaurant just near here, that incident. Let me see. I was here that day with the manager. The manager being the tiger. Furio tiger. Furio? Tiger? So that's where the tiger thing comes from. Cineop's got a real name. Nick, hurry up and find out more about him. Can I ask you about the tiger? I mean Mr. Tiger? Cookie? Sure. How do you like my cookies? I baked them myself. Go ahead, Nicholas. The honor is all yours. No, ladies first, Maya. Hey. No matter how I look at this, I just don't get it. What are the tiger and this carrier girl doing working together? We are lovers. That's not exactly coming across in your tone of voice. And I owe Don Tiger my life. He's the one who saved me. The tiger saved you? Please address him properly as Don Tiger. Otherwise, I will have to. Okay, Don Tiger, of course, I'm sorry. He saved her life. I'd sure like to know how that happened. Save your life. I'm very frail, you see. Just recently I died once. You died? About 4 months ago. The doctors said to abandon all hope. I guess they were expecting her to take a boat ride across the river Styx. But Don Tiger, he saved me. He gave up everything. Everything? When I found out what he has done for me, I was happy. No offense, but I'm finding that a little hard to believe. I decided I'd pay him back with my life by serving him coffee and espresso. I still wonder about what's in her coffee. So is that why you got that bandage around your head? This? So what's the story with the bandage? They put it on after the operation. Operation? It's just a little injury. A little fatal injury. Fatal injury? Maya just suffered one herself by the sound of it. So that's the injury we were talking about before when you said you had died once. Get wrecked, Phoenix. 4? It's 4, yeah. I would rather have another, never mind. Same here, but we got to find out the truth. I guess bye, then. January 7, Vitamin Square. There he is! Old Seed is back, feeding the pigeons again. There, take this and get off of my park. Like I thought, he's really mad. But the idea of feeding the pigeons at a certain place will get them going back to it, because they have received food there, obviously. The same with the cats. Come on, Maya, just keep your head down and let's sneak away while we still can. What? Why? Hello, old man. What are you doing, Maya? Huh? He just turned his back on us. I'm not surprised. I bet I really hurt his pride in the court this morning. Hey, Mr. Kudo. Pigeon. Look, we really need to talk to you, alright? Out with the demons and with good fortune. Seeds, shells, splinters. Painful. I always knew you were a demon, Maya. Today's trial. I'm sorry about what happened in court earlier today. Everyone be talking about me behind my back now. A dirty old man was so busy looking at the serving girl's black backside that he can't remember her face, a filthy depraved animal. Not at all. Are you listening to me, boy? I don't care what you say. I saw the waitress put it in. She put some white powder into the young lad's javakino. We hear you. And another thing. The young layabout was wearing an earpiece. On the same side as the lens as his broken spectacles. We are really sorry. So I made a little mistake about the way. So what? I know what I saw. I tell you. Okay, take it easy, pal. Mr. Kudo, pal. Don't tell me to take it easy, you spiky head bread. Take this. Embroider. You said you were a craftsman, right? The modern world casts honest craftsmen like me aside in droves. Surely it's not that. I come from a long line of craftsmen, right back to the time of the shoguns. Do you hear me? I didn't become an embroider. I was born one. Actually, I'm kind of in the same situation myself. I wanted to stick my fingers up that dripping old judge's nose and scream right down his ear hole. Objection! Also, did you want to become a lawyer when you were young? I don't think that's quite it, Maya. I think he's just in a bad mood, that's all. I got a tsunami of frustration inside and it's ready to burst out. If we let him start rumbling now, we might never shut him up. What should I do? Suck it up. Guess I better let him talk. So there's not much call for a craftsman these days then. Of course not, you idiot. All I'm good for nowadays is running errands. Errands? Everyone takes advantage of the elderly. Buy some bread, Gramps. Take the dog for a walk, Granddad. Feed the pigeons, old man. What am I? Some sort of 2-bit community handyman? Well, buy some bread. That I can understand. What's the point of feeding some seedy pigeons? Why don't people say what they mean? Get lost. That's what they are trying to say. Oh yes, I'm just an inconvenience, you see. At home, at that restaurant, I just get in the way, don't I? I'm sure you don't. Errands. Wait a minute, what did he just say? At home and at that restaurant? Hold up. By restaurant, are you talking about Tribulations? Did you get asked to run an errand there too? Yes, I did. The very day that young brat was poisoned. What? That errand? So on the day of the incident, what were you asked to do? Glad you asked, boy. Because I'll tell you what I was asked to do. All of a sudden, that young lad slumped over the table. The serving girl collapsed. And I broke that vase. It all happened so fast I was in a bit of daze, you see. Then the owner shouted a word to me. Excusez-moi, you call the police. Call them yourself. I should have said back, but I didn't think of it at the time. So, did you end up calling the policia? Like I said, I was in a bit of daze. Did you call them on your cell phone? Do I look like I had one of those newfangled think god magics? I went out looking for a payphone, of course. Went looking for one. I couldn't find one right away, you know. Wandered around for 5 minutes or so. 5 minutes. So for 5 minutes after the incident happened... Yes, sire. The owner was a tradesman on his own. Why didn't you mention this in court this morning? Well, I would have if you had given me the chance. But you all bullied me out of the courtroom. Actually, it was Phoenix who destroyed its credibility of this witness. So you can only blame yourself, Phoenix, right? It's not my fault, you're the ones to blame. You could have at least told me us before we got to court. Is it really that important that Mr. Kudo was the one who called the police? It is, there was a 5-minute gap there. What's important is the unaccounted time before the police arrived. The victim was dead, and Maggie was unconscious. Which leaves that woman, I mean that man, alone in the restaurant. Mr. Kuro might have been chased out of the place on purpose. What do you mean? Maybe a certain someone didn't want him in the restaurant. Oh sure, you go ahead and say I was in the way as usual. I suppose I should have been getting myself covered in pigeon poop instead, Need to get more details about what exactly happened from Maggie and from Mr. Armstrong. So, Maggie Tribulations. Maggie Detention Center. Okay, she's here. Oh, Mr. Wright. Hello, Maggie. So they finished questioning you. Wasn't it just unbelievable in court today, sir? I'm going to stay up all night and blog about everything that happened. Weren't you scared? It was pretty tough touch and going there. Yeah, but you totally nailed that old man. Well, he was all over the place with his testimony. He's not the only one. Huh? What do you mean? Everyone else's testimony don't match up either. Not with what I remember of the incident anyway. Is it possible she is the one misremembering things? Ah, I feel much better after this trial this morning. I've been a bit of a courtroom proceedings addict for years now. It feels like forever since I saw a witness as slippery as that old man. He's not really that bad of an old man though. Still, I feel a bit uneasy. Huh? I thought you just said you felt much better. Maggie? If there's something on your mind, you got to tell us, especially if it has anything to do with Mr. Kudo or his testimony. Roger! Spit it all and see what you can make of it. Maggie, you know how you said that everyone else provided testimony that doesn't match up with what you just remembered? Yup, there are just too many things that don't seem to add up. The biggest contradiction is the other guy I saw at the victim's table. He was the one who slipped something into the victim's coffee, I'm sure it was him. But didn't Mr. Kudo testify earlier today that it was the waitress who put some white powder into the coffee cup? So you really think it was this disappearing man that did it? Well, it's not the only thing that disappeared, the CD vanished as well. You know, the CD with the writing on it? Oh yeah, the MC Screwdriver album, right? I think it was MC Bomber, Maya, and then that name was scrolled on the sports paper as well. Buddha is streaming. What? I got a recommendation. Buddha is streaming. What the fuck is this? They never did find the CD at the crime scene, sir. Or the victim's medication that's gone missing too. Ouch, my head. This is getting way too complicated for me. Present MC Bomber. I know I used to be on the police force. Oh, you don't know anything about it, even though you just said that this is very important. Okay then, Maggie. You said that you passed out when the victim Glenn Elk collapsed, right? Yes, it's so embarrassing. I mean, I used to be a cop. When I came to, the restaurant was buzzing with police, and before I knew what was going on, they arrested me, sir. So between the time the victim collapsed and the time the police arrived on the scene, you have no idea what went on at Tribulations. No idea at all. Why? Is it important, Mr. Wright? The other witness, the old man from the park, was pretty much chased out of the picture. Chased out of the picture? What do you mean? Old CD wasn't inside the restaurant because he was told to go call the police. Exactly, and you, Maggie, were unconscious. That means Mr. Armstrong was alone in the restaurant for a brief period of time. No, you don't think Mr. Armstrong set me up, do you? When you consider the facts, it's hard to imagine that Mr. Armstrong isn't involved in this at all. Grr. It's like the master beating the paw of the dog that it feeds. Are you sure about this, Mr. Wright? Well, the old man said as much when we spoke with him earlier. I don't know, the things that man says don't add up for some reason, sir. Maggie looks like she's trying to figure something out. Maybe we should ask Maggie exactly what she knows about old CD. Is there anything about Mr. Kudo's testimony that stood out as odd to you? Actually, yes. The fact that he was even testifying to begin with doesn't quite what? Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true that there was another customer in the restaurant. Yeah, we know that already, it was Victor Kudo. But I can't really say it was an old man. Okay then, how about calling him a really old middle-aged man? A midget. No, age isn't the issue. The other customer was a woman. A woman? Are you sure, Maggie? Well, I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. So what did this woman look like? She was sort of creepy, and she had A kind of crackling laugh. Creepy? Crackling? Cackling? Wait, crackling or cackling? Cackling. Why do I get the feeling I've come across a woman like that recently? That's Maya. Phoenix, that's Maya. She's right there. Next to you. Oh yeah, I've got something you are going to love. Really? What is it? A lunchbox, just for you. Here! Wow, a lunchbox. Weenies too. I can't believe it. Thank you, sir. Did you make this just for me, Mr. Wright? Nah. It was Detective Gumshoe. Who else would make such a nice lunchbox for you? Detective Gumshoe? He's really worried about you. Looks like he put a lot of effort into making this too. I can't accept it. Detention center rules. No gifts allowed, sir. Hey, come on, Maggie. Don't be like that. The rules are the rules. They lock me up if you break them. Somehow when an ex-cop turned the waitress says that, it seems a lot scarier. And anyway, I hate weenies. Oh, really? It's all yours, Maya. You can enjoy it with Mr. Wright, but... She's right. It's better than letting it go to waste. But, I guess so. Gumshoe's lunchbox eaten with Maya. Well, how was it? That hit the spot. I love weenies. Oh good, I'm glad I gave it to you then, sir. I have no idea where to move now. January 7 Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. The main server just went up in smoke. Why the heck isn't the press conference set up yet? The superintendent's here already. Yeah, and there's a problem with the internet too. I already told you to stop using your computer, Chief. I'm watching videos online. I'm catching up on the Asian soap operas. It's gonna have to wait, Chief. I'm throwing the switch. No! Just when some young guy was about to confess to his son's hot-to-trot girlfriend. Whoa, this place is really buzzing. Something must be going down. Something really big. Huh? What are you doing here, pal? Detective Gumshoe. You can be right. You can be here right now. You'll be roped into the briefing if you stay. Huh? We got a big problems here today. Why? What's going on? It's a virus. A virus. A virus? There's a virus ripping through the prison's computer system. But I really need to ask you some questions. So what exactly is a computer virus, Detective Gumshoe? I don't know. What? Look, I just go into the floor, right, pal? And here I thought detectives were supposed to be somewhat knowledgeable. What's with the face, pal? You think you know what a virus is? Well, Nicholas, do you? A computer virus? Sure. I mean, only in simple terms, of course. Really? Wow, you know everything, Professor Nick. Yeah, I'm gonna call you Dr. Wright from now on. Hey, that sounds pretty cool, don't you agree, Dr. Wright? Why do I get the feeling they are making fun of me? Okay, fine, I'm no expert, but I can at least explain the basics to the two of you. Okay, I'm only gonna say this once. Yes? No matter how poor you get, never borrow money from a place like this, you hear? Okay. If you got money trouble, just go on a diet of instant noodles and hang in there. Oh, we are not thinking about borrowing money, detective, we want information. Oh, is that all? Well, let's see. Tenderland is considered to be even fishier than the average illegal loan shark. And it seems it ran into trouble just recently. Those guys have been pretty heavy-handed, calling in all their debts. Really? Don't go poking your nose around in their business, pal. You really regret it if you upset that lady. Alright? I get a picture. Hey, wait a minute. What did he just say? That lady? Who is this lady he's talking about, Nick? Better find out what his story is with this lady. A virus is a program that gets inside the computer and it causes damage. Damage? You mean it makes the machine go boom and explode? No, the damage is, well, it's all internal. So the inside goes boom, right? Imagine all the case data you have got stored on your PCs here in the station. A virus could wipe out all of that. That's the kind of damage I'm talking about. That's a lot of damage. Whoa, that's scary. Yeah, and what's even more scary is that viruses are infectious. Infectious? Most computers are connected together on network, right? Virus can move from one machine to another over the network. So the virus just keeps spreading faster and faster. Just like a real virus, huh? But Nick, why would anyone want to make a program like that? Yeah, it takes ages to type in all the data. Why would you wanna destroy it, pal? Well, people don't infect their own machines. They send the viruses to someone else's. What? That's horrible. Oh, I get it. It's like you sneezing on Mr. Godot so he catches a cold. Right. Then he wouldn't be able to turn up in court because he would be too sick. You really shouldn't do stuff like that, Nick. It's wrong. Who? What? Where? When? Why did the conversation jump to talking about me? Anyway, that's what a computer virus is. Bad program that causes damage. And all the different viruses have names, right? I kinda feel like I've heard the name of the virus out somewhere before. The name of the virus, huh? I feel like I've heard of it before too. Detective Gumshoe, about this. What? Oh, this is it, this stupid name, I remember now. I thought so, here it comes. Don't just nod to yourself and keep me in the dark, Nicholas. What's going on? It's okay, Maya, you don't have to cry about it. The name scribbled on the sports paper and written on the CD. That's the name of the virus, MC Bomber. Was? Yeah, the virus that's just infected everyone's computer in the station, pal. MC Bomber. Can you give us any more details, please? That's the girl who works over at Tenderlander. You wanna stay away from her, okay? I mean it. She does look kind of unforgiving, doesn't she? That should be the least of your worries, pal. What's that supposed to mean? What could be worse? Her name is Viola Cadaverini. She's the only granddaughter of Bruto Cadaverini. Bruto Cadaverini, do you know who that is, Nick? Never heard of him. Bruto Cadaverini is the boss of the Cadaverini family. The Cadaverinis? That's one scary sounding name. We can't touch them, they are way too powerful for the police. But you're thinking of taking them on, aren't you? No, I don't remember ever saying I was going to. I better get some more info out of Gumshoe about this family. The Cadaverinis. I'm not sure if I really wanna get involved in this, but who are the Cadaverinis? Who are they? Scary bunch of people, that's who. You're a cop, and you're scared? What's that about? Trust me, it doesn't matter if you're a kid or a cop, these guys are scary. They got some serious clout in the criminal underworld. We can't touch them, they've got too much moolah. Moolah? As in? They pretty much control all the cash on the city's black market. The black market, huh? And that includes Tenderlander, I take it? Sure! No one stands up to the Bruto Cadaverini. And I mean no one. Interesting. So Viola's granddaughter of some mafia boss then? Yeah, and everyone knows how much Bruto loves his little girl. She means everything to him. So, how did she end up at Tenderlander? I don't know, pal. But I heard she and the boss of Tenderlander are pretty tight. Tight? That's what it said in the file I read related to Maggie's case. Sounds like a pretty important clue. We already knew about MC Bomber virus from a while back. A group of criminals issued a series of demands to the head honchos of law enforcement. They threatened to release the virus if their demands weren't met. Who are they? I don't know. some hotshots from the criminal underworld would be my guess. And now the virus has been released, huh? Yeah, it's in every computer, in every public office in the city. Everyone's going nuts. They are hopping around like they are dancing at the carnival. All this stuff with criminals and viruses. It almost feels like we're in a sci-fi movie. Apparently the programmer who made the virus was a real genius or something. The focus right now is on tracing the root of this virus on the black market. You mean someone put this virus up for sale? Yeah, and because this was so powerful, they are estimating its price tag was in the millions of dollars. Well, in the millions, the virus can be worth that much. Alright, I can't believe it. I almost forgot the most important thing. And that is, you know, the lunchbox. How did everything go? Lunchbox? You remember the weenies? Where is Pearls right now? I just thought about it. Where is she? She's not in this episode. I hate weenies. Oh yeah, those weenies. So, how did my weenies taste when they went down to the hatch? Huh? Well, it was delicious. Yeah, that's what she said. Really? Well, not exactly. Don't worry about Paul. I figured something would happen, so I came prepared. Prepared? What do you mean? I made a jumbo lunchbox. Oh. Do me a favor, huh? Paul, and deliver this? This sure is a heavy burden, in more ways than one. I can't just imagine Maggie's little eyes perking with joy when you bring her that. Weenies again, Nick. Tell me we don't have to eat all this too. I really can't eat anymore. Okay. Detention center, she's not here, obviously. Frisbean? Move. Kitchen? Looks like Mr. Armstrong out again, but the place is open for business. You can't have an open restaurant without a chef. It's not my fault, Nick, don't take it out on me. Only a couple of minutes after the incident happened, Mr. Kudo left the scene, leaving Mr. Armstrong here alone. Missing when we need to talk to him the most. Maybe he's trying to avoid us on purpose? Maybe I can go to Blue Screens Incorporation and beat this girl. Not literally. So, how about you tell me what kind of trouble Mr. Egg was in? I'm sorry, sir, but we don't deal with troubleshooting here. Perhaps you would like to speak to someone in customer service? What's she talking about? I guess I better just take a shot and see where it gets me. Miss Basil, let me ask you something. Did Mr. Egg's trouble have something to do with this? I have to present the losing horse tickets, I guess. What is that? A bunch of horse racing tickets, all losing ones. What is... With that many tickets you could get $1 at the recycling center. The good people are very, very bad. Cashing in on others' misfortunes is immoral. Is that a whiff of hypocrisy I smell? But what is it? What is the relevance of these tickets? The victim, Mr. Glenn Egg, he had a gambling habit, didn't he? I don't think that's a logical conclusion based on the facts. Everyone likes to go out on the races from time to time. Yeah, but not everyone buys this many tickets. Anyway, I don't believe that proves anything on its own. You're right, but I'm not through yet. Mr. Egg's gambling wasn't restricted to horse races, was it? The lottery horse racing, he bought a lot of tickets and lost a lot of times. That's got to have hurt his wallet pretty bad, don't you think? Oh, this sprite. She's acting human now. Maybe maybe bad enough to be the cause of some pretty serious trouble, perhaps. No! You're right, Glenn did have a gambling habit. Good people must not follow his example, do you understand? Trust me, even if I wanted to, I don't exactly have the money to buy any. But if you win, there's no problem, is there? And Glenn had a winning ticket, didn't he? For $500,000? Yeah, but it's hard to imagine how he could have been in trouble there, isn't it? It's true that Mr. Egg won $500,000 in the end, but that was his first stroke of good luck. He was in deep trouble before that. Deep trouble? What do you mean? Mr. Egg's real problem was with someone or something more terrifying and ferocious. Furio Tiger, the boss of a loan office called Tenderlander. Tenderlander? People with businesses should think harder before naming their offices. Like you're one to talk. Well, what do you think? Our firm is doing very well at the moment. I don't think we need to borrow money. No, no, no! I mean about Mr. Egg. You think Glenn had something to do with this Furio Tiger? Yes. I'm sorry, I don't know any connection between the two of them. Really? Because I've got proof that Mr. Egg and the Tiger knew each other. And what is that, Phoenix, right? Furio Tiger, also known as the Tiger, is the boss of a loan office called Tenderlander. This is who Mr. Egg met with on the day of his murder. And the only thing a loan shark would talk with him about is that... No... It's true that Glenn had racked up quite a bit of debt from his gambling habit. About $100,000, I think. $100,000? Ouch. But I heard he won the lottery, so he should have been in the clear. Shame Maggie could get a bit of that good luck. Okay. So the guy got lucky and won the lottery, but what if he hadn't won? What was his plan then? Well, that isn't easy to say, but he said he would use his talents to repay the money. His talents? I suspect he was talking about programming. What computer program is worth $100,000? Perhaps you good people should leave so I can get back to my work. I'm so close to cracking her. The programming question, was it by any chance this? The MC Bomber. Well, this is it, isn't it? This is the virus that's infecting computers worldwide as we speak. MC Bomber. No! Glenn's had more processing power than any computer, but it had been infected with the gambling virus. Glenn was in too deep. You mean he was in debt? Yes, $100,000 in debt. Not an easy amount to repay, so... He said he was taking on some extra work, something a bit risky. Risky? Oh. Maybe he was going to become a waitress at Tribulations. Where do you come up with these ideas? So it's safe to say that Mr. Egg was the creator of this virus, huh? The MC Bomber virus, yes. It was a work of a genius. In a bad sort of way, of course, but still genius. Something like that would probably fetch several $1,000,000 on the black market. Inconceivable. Gumshoe was right for a change. His date, December 3rd, that is marked on his calendar. That was his deadline for repaying his debt. Okay. I guess we won't be needing these horsing race tickets anymore. Eaten by Maya. Use a trash can, Nicholas! Now we move to the Tenderlander and crack this woman. But we're gonna mess it up. Because I need that achievement that I didn't get. The head bandage. You said that bandage around your head was from an operation? You also said you suffered a fatal injury to the head, correct? Yes, that operation was very difficult, apparently. Now, by fatal injury, you mean you were hurt very badly somehow, right? Did the injury in question have something to do with this? My attorney's badge. Well? Donuts? Huh? I baked them myself. Homemade donuts. Have one. What's inside? Jam and... I'm sorry, but I didn't quite catch that. Thanks, but no thanks. I think I pass. As that was a flop. What happened to this woman for her to have such a huge bandage around her head? There must be some piece of evidence that will prompt her to tell me what happened. Now, by fatal injury, there it is. You mean you were hurt? Very badly somehow, right? Did the injury in question have something to do with this? Well? Oh fuck. I did I mess up twice? Maybe I don't have the... Guess I should talk to someone, but to whom? Or maybe I shouldn't? I was just a noob. Stop, you violated the law. Okay. What the hell? I can only think of this thing. I have here a car repair bill. From this, it seems pretty obvious that this car was involved in an accident. Let me see that. This bill is made out to the Cadaverinis? Question mark? Yes, it is. I don't think I ever introduced myself. Tell me, what do the Cadaverinis have to do with me? Something tells me she's not about to say hi and introduce herself. Alright then, your relationship with the Cadaverinis is very strong, and this is why. I know exactly who you are, Viola Cadaverini. You sustained that injury in the traffic accident, didn't you? It happened about 4 months ago. I was driving in one of our family's cars, and someone pulled out in front of me. It was a motorbike, or something like that. I don't remember it much. I thought it's Phoenix. That's my excuse here. Anyway, I started to try to avoid it, but... I took a blow to the head, a bad one. Yeah, I can imagine. So what happened to the person on the bike? I'm guessing they didn't get away with injuring the Viola Cadaverini, right? I don't know what happened to them. They ran away, or so I heard. Ran away. If they had stayed, I would have... Is it possible? Could the person who committed that hit and run have been Furo Tiger? It was this man, wasn't it? He was the cause of your accident. It wasn't Don Tiger. I refuse to believe it. We collided, the motorbike and my car. But Don Tiger isn't injured at all. It was the tiger who caused Viola to crash, and I feel it. Plus, one of her locks just broke, so she must suspect it was him too. I'm sorry, Miss Cadaverini, but I have proved that the tiger was involved in the traffic accident on his bike. Scooter? On your scooter. It's not exactly a motorbike, but Mr. Tiger rides around on his scooter, doesn't he? And you notice that the front wheel guard is badly damaged. Miss Cadaverini, you know the truth, don't you? This repair bill was paid by Furo Tiger. The Cadaverinis have known for ages who caused the accident, haven't they? It's possible, perhaps, somewhere inside me. I know that may be true. I knew it, but Don Tiger still saved my life. The operation was very complicated. It was very expensive. How much are we talking? Very expensive. She seems kind of hesitant about giving me an actual figure. I should back off. Well, anyway, it was the tiger who paid for it, right? After I recovered, Don Tiger told me. He said he paid for the operation because he cared about me. I believe him. Really? But do you honestly believe that to be true? Do you want to know what I think? I think the reason he paid for the operation wasn't because of you, but someone else. Bruto Cavarini again? Perhaps I shouldn't be saying this, but your grandfather Bruto Cavarini controls a lot of dubious cash, right? And you are his beloved pride and joy. Sure, I don't know exactly how much the operation cost, but if you weren't the granddaughter of Mr. Cadaverini, do you think Mr. Tiger would have paid the money? $1 million. 4 months ago, I was in a traffic accident. That's why I needed the operation. When I woke up, they told me it was nothing serious. A simple procedure. Oh, really? Well, I guess if she recovered in 4 months, it couldn't have been too big. They said the operation cost $1 million. $1 million bucks? My grandfather ordered Don Tiger to pay $1 million in compensation. Compensation, huh? It's underworld lingo for paying money to settle a score. Basically pay or get into some serious trouble. But $1 million bucks? This has to be related to our poisoning case somehow. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to trust what Don Tiger said. He said it had nothing to do with my grandfather being Bruto Cadaverini. I wanted to believe he had me because he cared about me, not about my grandfather. But I knew that wasn't really true. Wow, I'm so sorry. What he did to get the money was evil. He said it was all for me, so I helped him. You helped him in what way? Here, take these. What are these? Medical papers? I'm Bruto Cadaverini's granddaughter. He had to pay compensation. He was made an offer. He simply couldn't refuse. I love this reference. I also think that Viola's story is the most tragic one in this game. A port from some dude's story. Phoenixes. Wow, I feel so bad for Viola. It's inexcusable. Huh? There are two things that I consider inexcusable. Poisoning and betrayal. Only a coward would hurt people using either of these tactics. Is everything alright, Nick? We should get going. Right after we finish our espresso, yeah. I won't need to convince Viola of anything else, so I guess I can get rid of this. Repair bill thrown into the trash. Oh yeah, Trisbian. This is where I have to go. I just realized. There's gonna be a big showdown here. Bonjour, I've been waiting for you to return. Mr. Armstrong. Ah, good timing, dude. I was hoping to find you here. We would like to ask you a few questions. Well, he hasn't got anything to say, you fellas. Oh, it's Zinio. Would you call it Zinio? Come on from under the table already, Maya. Okay, hand it over. What? You just wanna play games with me? I don't recommend that. The medical papers now. Uh-oh, I think he wants Viola cadaver in his papers back. You mean this? The $1 million medical papers? Miss Cadaver trusted you. That's why she said that she helped you. Forget about it, the girl's dumber than an eggplant. You just wanna know what said, and I tell you what said. And it ain't only her face. She thinks she's got power cause she's Bruto's little girl, not that's it. I can't let you have these papers. Tomorrow in court, I'm going to expose what you did to get $1 million you used to pay this off. Are you crazy or something? I don't care if you wanna give it to me or not. There's two of us here. Got that too. Oui. Mr. Armstrong, help me. Forgive me, désolé. I cannot agree with him. Phoenix died. End of story. Oh, that really hurt. Is the two use good? I'll be taking those papers now. Armstrong, get that lighter. Wait. Don't take it too hard, Phoenix, right? That was so stupid. I shouldn't have let my guard down. Yeah. Those medical papers were vital evidence. Gumshoe, help me. Just like in the first game. Holy pal. Detective Gumshoe. Detective? You think you're gonna stop the copper? Beat it. Oh, come on, Gumshoe. Keep it together. You guys, get out of here. Leave this guy to me. But go, pal, and take this. If you get hurt, who's gonna look after Maggie, huh? Alright. Thanks, Gumshoe. Maya, wait, Nick. Don't leave me behind. And this was the investigation part. I get even with that guy tomorrow. Dandelion is going down. And I'm willing to the court part as well. You see, if I want, then this franchise will go on forever. I don't want that. I want to move on to other games as well. Not saying I hate this, hate playing this, but it takes so long. It's like playing Final Fantasy. I like games that don't take like a year to replay it, you know? Yeah, sure, the first playthrough should be a long ride, but that's it. Yeah, save. Meanwhile, while I'm fucking around here. This guy talking to me. I'm just distorting my voice to fit in with the Furio Tiger. What? But I pressed the button here. Apparently I did not. January 8, 46 AM. This record defendant lobby number 1. Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning, Maggie. So what do you think is going to happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well and ended on a giant mystery, that's true. And we still haven't solved a single part of it yet. Are you okay, Nick? Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I saw that little flash of doubt in your eyes. No, that wasn't doubt. That was, determination. Why don't I believe you? It's nearly time, Maggie. You better get going to the defendant's seat. Roger, don't let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you. Hey, Paul. Hey, Detective Gumshoe, pal. Quit stressing Maggie out. She doesn't need that. How did you know she was stressed? I was watching through the doorway. Oh, you look like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, Paul? Here, maybe this will help. Huh? Have you taken up aromatherapy too? Not a million years, Paul. Don't tell me that you don't remember this thing. Come to think of it, that doesn't look like one of those aromatherapy bottles. This is a small bottle that turned up in the Tribulations kitchen a couple of days ago. Wow, look at these little bottles. Oh, and they are aromatherapy oils. Oh, this is a reminiscence. We finally got the analysis result back from the lab. So, what is it? What is it? Is it poison? I'm afraid not, Paul. It's medication. Medication? Yeah, for years. Topical use only, apparently. For years, you mean... Yeah, it's the medication Glenn Egg was using for his ruptured eardrum. What was Glenn Egg's ear medicine doing in the kitchen? What about the unidentified fingerprints? Anything on that? Someone screwed up, so they only had time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour and they might have gotten something on the prints, but that's going to weaken its impact as a piece of evidence. Okay, pal, this is it. Make sure your defense is impregnable today, got it? The fuck are you talking about? Today's trial, I'm going to expose that guy for what he has done, or my name isn't Phoenix Wright but Phoenix Wrong. January 8, 10 AM. This record courtroom number 4. That blew up. Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Ready and waiting as always, Your Honor. Very good, then we will get underway at once. Yesterday we have heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Kudo. He claims to have witnessed the defendant putting a powder in the victim's coffee. However, the witness's testimony was plagued with number of problems. The mark on the rim, the mark on the rim of the cup shows that the victim drank from it with his right hand. But according to the old man's testimony, he picked up it with his left hand. Thank you, Mr. Kudo. Furthermore, according to the witness's account, the victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear. Yet the victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear. It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, huh, Nick? Ha! Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. The world, you see, keeps turning, and we must turn with it. You have lost me already, Mr. Godot. Don't let the mysteries of yesterday mystify you today. Only losers think like that. You got to change with times. That's one of my rules. Are you implying that you have resolved these contradictions? You know the answers to these riddles? The old guy wasn't just throwing seeds in here, he was throwing us off the scent. And today I'll prove it. Very well, let the first witness take the stand. And you are? Oh, bonjour everyone. I'm Jean Armstrong, the owner and the chef of Tribulations restaurant in Shantae. Forgive me for asking witness, but are you a woman? Oh la la, monsieur. As you can see, I'm la pert and perky gentleman, no? On the day of the incident, you were in Tribulations' kitchen. Isn't that right? With you, monsieur? Everything feels right. He doesn't mind, he's not like Edgeworth. Ah! Wow, he's totally unfazed. Doesn't anything intimidate this guy? Very well, your testimony, please, witness. Please tell the court what happened to that day at the Tribulations. We volunteers. Not going for that achievement. Also, I missed that achievement. When it all happened, there was just two customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new art deco that day, like having a large mirror between the tables, for example. Perhaps that what the old man was looking at. La cup, la earpiece and la glasses. You would have seen everything in reverse, no? Mirror? Oui, un grande mirror. La most enormous mirror. And suddenly, the mystery disappears. Like I said, the world keeps turning, so roll with it. That would explain the coffee cup and the earpiece conundrum. The mirror would have made everything appear back to front. What the heck? It's way too early in the morning for this to happening to me. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. The coffee cup, the earpiece, and the HMD. Let's think back over Mr. Kudo's testimony for a second, shall we? The boy was wearing an earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt. So, to summarize, we were told both the HMD and earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now, Mr. Kudo saw all that as a reflection in the mirror. It means both HMD and earpiece were actually on the victim's right side. Exactly, you see, monsieur. Now that you think about it, it's not that unknown. Unfortunately, that's where we run into monumental contradiction with the facts. If Mr. Kudo really did see everything in a mirror, the why is that the HMD is now on the wrong side of his head? Order! Mr. Wright is correct. If the witness genuinely observed the victim reflected in a mirror, then we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over his right eye. How bitter. Right? Should have a taste of this bitterness. It will calm you down in no time. Are we talking about your coffee or something completely different? You don't understand the way the witness thinks. How he thinks? Remember this, I presume? I broke the vase. Sorry, apologize, lad. I mean, Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony? Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit, other than throwing seeds. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. And what's most striking about Mr. Elg? Clearly it's the victim's eyepiece. And that's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Egg's HMD made a big impression on the old man. Isn't the Vegetas, or you know, the Raditz, or what's his name? Yeah, I think it was Raditz. Goku's brother and Vegeta. And Nappa? I don't remember the first saga of Dragon Ball Z, but they had this same thing on their left eye, and that's the mean. It's over 9,000, which was badly translated because it was more than that, or less than that, I don't know, but it was badly translated. I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles that he was wearing. Oh yes, they were both on his left ear. Do you hear? Left ear. Ha! Well, right. That's the worst but best impression of Kudo ever. I really thought he was all seedy for 1 minute there. God was good. Enough. I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in much of his testimony. Bad luck, Nicholas. Looks like the boil of contradiction you found is just a rash. A mirror can be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can it lie. So, what exactly was that old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on, tell the court. We are all ears. Oui, I can explain. Please, if you will look at the plans of the restaurant. The mirror. Alors, is everyone sitting comfortably? La mirror, it was in the middle of the restaurant. There is only one seat from which you could have seen an image of la victim. That was la seat at the table next la victim, that where the old man was sitting in the sentence. After la terrible incident occurred, I moved la mirror so it was not in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else. I see no problems with the text explanation we just have heard. Because you're a judge. From the table next to the victim, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror. What a naughty little coquette I am, confusing all the men like this coquette. Don't worry about it. We can keep up, except for the guy breaking out in cold sweat over there again. I hate that guy. You said you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror. Are you quite sure about that? Volunteers, of course. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you please. I need the crime photo. This piece of evidence contradicts with the testimony we have heard, Your Honor. This crime photo? Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist. What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? Should not exist? Ah, sounds like you're describing yourself, right? Now then, if the defense will please clarify its statement. What is this something that should not exist? The vase, obviously. I think it's pretty obvious that this is what should not be in this picture. The vase? What possible connection does that have with this witness's testimony? Your Honor, I'm telling you that there should not have been no vase on this table, because it was clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence. Oh my goodness. Where is it? Where is it? What the fuck? Oh. I have so many scrap here. There's one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting, and yet, as the court can see, there is an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not, in fact, sitting at the table next to the victim at all. Don't be an idiot, right? That's impossible. The seat's the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from. Exactly. There is only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in the Tresby that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie. Won't you? Don't try to confuse the court, right? Obviously the witness cleaned up the vase. Why the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene. Unfortunately, Mr. Goro, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary in his own words. I did not touch anything else except the mirror. Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? Snip. I was right, there was no mirror in the restaurant that day. In light of this revelation, we return back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear in which he couldn't hear? Ha! You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, right? Then this problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw? If I can answer this, then it will be much closer to the truth, I can feel it. Are you going to be okay, Nick? Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick? There's more than just this one contradiction, Maya. Fuck you mean? Remember what Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table. And there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up. Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple. The victim was a phony. This case is riddled with contradictions, yet there is one very simple answer that clears them all up. And what is that? The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events. What? Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenn Egg at all. It was an imposter, a phony pretending to be Mr. Egg. Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake. Order in the court. Settle down or I will clear the courtroom. Quiet, Gramps. Quiet, Gramps. Why don't you clear out here, huh? What did you say? Right. Are you saying what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup? Yes. Someone pretended to be Glenn Egg and acted out the wall coffee poisoning. What? All for the express purpose of creating witness out of one, Mr. Victor Kudo. Get real, right? Why would anyone want to do that? Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was so most insistent about in his testimony was the serving girl brought him Javakino, but she put something in it. That's the serving girl right there, in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. It's so hard to believe, but there was one, and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee. And you're insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was a fake as well? It's true that there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but it's also true that the chef was there. How would have noticed what was happening? He would have noticed. Oh, that's right. Well, witness, if your restaurant really was the scene of such theatrics, you would have known about it, correct? Oh la la, this is most difficult for me. No, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You are under oath. After all, was there in fact a phony at Tribulations at that day? The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened. The defense's request for additional testimony is accepted. You will accurately explain in detail the events in the restaurant that day. Ooh, oui. La victime, Monsieur Egg, came to my restaurant alone. I remember La Olma arrived not long after him. There were no other customers. When he got word Ella won lottery, Mr. One Egg became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that La poisoning incident occurred. No, there was no time for phony doula acting. Just so we are clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all. We demand pardon, forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly. What you have just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. I will decide how to punish you later. Oui. For now, we will hear your cross-examination, Mr. Wright, if you please. He took the perjury charge a bit too well. But I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination. Okay, this is the sentence. By all man, you mean Mr. Victor Kudo, correct? He comes often to for my special coffee. I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I give you that. It's worth a sip, just for the experience. Oh, you make me so happy, monsieur. You must recommend it to me. I said it was worth one sip, and nothing more. So Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant around at the same time as the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more detail. What time was it? Of course, out of curiosity, about what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived? Oh, no, I cannot remember, monsieur. I believe we were told by a witness yesterday. The crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, sir. Was that perhaps jog your memory, witness? The incident happened about 20 minutes after he arrived. So the victim must have arrived between 2 p.m. and 10:15 p.m., no? Just after 2, huh? Thank you for your help in jogging my memory, monsieur. You are wonderful. Okay, let's see this winning ticket. I can't sit here all the time and do nothing, can I? The time of day will be added to the witness's testimony. Oui, monsieur the judge. Everything I do it for you. Merci bien. That's French, isn't it? I'm glad at least one person is in good mood. Is even you humming a song to himself. Unfortunately for you, tried. Yesterday, witness also testified that the victim was alone. You know, seeing you squirm like that reminds me of a certain coffee's bittersweet bite. What kind of coffee he has been drinking? It's not coffee, it's love. It's love that bittersweet. Hearing Maya say that makes me seem wise all of a sudden. Or seem. I can't return to this sentence or what? Oh. This is the sentence. I've been... Did you see him? No, I was in the kitchen, but I heard him. Remember something? Yes, $500,000. Presumably the defendant heard that too, then, correct? Maggie? She looked like a poor little frightened dog. What about Mr. Kudo? The old man choked on some birdseed that got stuck in his throat. And seems we now have yet another incident on our hands. Okay then. I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong. Hui? What do you mean? At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was a millionaire radio. Each week they announced the winning numbers of the $500,000 lottery ticket. Ui, that must be the show one egg was listening to. I can't see any problem with the testimony now, Mr. Wright. I wonder. You say the victim arrived at your restaurant after 2 p.m., correct? Ui, I'm sure of it. Oh, I thought that was Mr. Kudo. That's why I was so fucking confused. I'm sure of it. I can remember perfectly now. I know it was that time, because I have just finished serving lunch menu. Get to the point, try it, if you have one. That show is broadcast live at 1:30 p.m. and it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life. It's one on the air tonight? 1:30, I mean? Now suppose that the victim made some noise when it was announced that he had won. And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by the point in time. No! This victim have been told about he has done nothing but the impossible. Listening to the radio with a ruptured eardrum, catching a show that was already over. There's only one conclusion you can draw from these facts. This victim was an imposter acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder. Yes, there were 2 Glen eggs in Tresby on that day. The real Glen egg now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer, and the phony Glen egg acting out of the events for Mr. Kudo to witness. It certainly seems that way. I mean, if that wasn't the case, how would you explain the time discrepancy? Quite a performance, right? You were almost on a roll. But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song. What is this? Music Theory 101? Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 p.m. The phony egg is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain them, where the real Glen egg is? I don't believe I have to spell this out for the court, however, at the time the real Glen egg was already dead. That's certainly the obvious conclusion. Thank you, right. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say. What? Now, I presume you can prove this theory of yours. Can you explain where the missing corpse went to? The missing corpse? According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. If that customer was phony Glen egg, then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim? The prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. If your theory is to stand up to the examination by the court, you must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the body? Yes, Your Honor. No conjecture. Right. Let's hear some facts for once. show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden. Evidence? What's with the intense pressure in here all of a sudden? I thought I had him with that contradiction, but he has turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead. Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Mr. Egg concealed? Inside Tribulations. It would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside Tribulations. Interesting. But where could the body have been hidden inside the restaurant? Perhaps you would care to show the court of these plans, Mr. Wright. The exact location where the body was concealed inside is the kitchen, dudes. The body was hidden here. I see. Nice position. But the real question is, can you back it up? Where's the evidence that proves the body was hidden in that location? Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle? No. I've never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. I only use the very best bottles, monsieur. The highest quality, only for me. Where was the bottle found, Mr. Wright? Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Tribulations. Qui? But I only ever use these bottles for my aromatherapy oils. But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication. What kind of medication? I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. Egg visited an otolaryngological clinic and was given medication that day. I fucking just annihilated this word here. And the music with it. You can't be serious. The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed and I have the lab results here. The contents of the bottle match the prescription that was given to Mr. Egg. Glenn Egg's murderer hid the body in the restaurant kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen? Mon Dieu! Yes, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client Maggie Bird, however. You are setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back. Order. This is an extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Mr. Glenn Egg? Never. I could not do such a horrible thing. Mr. Godot. The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. That's one of my rules. Do you have the slightest idea how many cups you have had by now? I like to do the same to the person who lied to me. I like to take them down with my empty cup. Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in your ear? My age-deficient friend. Je vous demande pardon, please, you must hear me out. It is a trap, listen to me. Por favor. That's not even French. Yo hablo español, Mr. Armstrong, and por favor in Spanish. I'm only going to ask you once. Did you do it? None. Absolutely none. Let's hear it. You've got one shot. Right, Gramps? Witness, the court will permit you the chance to make one final statement. If you lie under oath again, Mr. Godot's coffee mug awaits you. What? And as does my gavel. Oui, it is clear. What do they always say in the movies? I got a bad feeling about this. Very well, begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong. Oh, another one. A confession. It is true. I hid the body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with him, because there was no reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him. I swear it. You must believe me. Gotta ask about the guy, I guess. You were forced? By who? I cannot say, or I will be erased. Let's try a different question then. When Mr. Egg died, was he really the only person at his table? There was... Phoenix Wright was there. There was another man. I knew it. Maggie was telling the truth. You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright. There's just one more thing I need to do. I gotta braid this guy and got him to tell us the name of the real killer. What, man? Who was he? No, I cannot say. I fear for my life. He's really scared. You just have to put the words in his mouth, Nick. Yeah, you're right. If you won't tell me, I tell him. But why would you go along with this man? And what reason would that be, Mr. Armstrong? You know, monsieur... Yes? Surely you cannot expect a young maiden to talk about such an embarrassment. A maiden? You are a bit old to get away with that. And a bit too male. I can't finish the cross-examination without establishing his reason, so I just have to prove it, with evidence. I didn't kill him. Swear, you must believe me. Let's try presenting it on this sentence. Should work, I mean. Yeah. Thought so. You have $500,000 there, don't you? $500,000? Is this true, Mr. Armstrong? Yes. You sweet désolé. I was weak and I borrowed the money. This is Mr. Armstrong or Achilles heel. And that's why you couldn't refuse anything asked of you by this man. Maya Fey, the mafia man. A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything, this man told you. It is as you say. Mr. Armstrong, the tiger, he told me I was going to use my restaurant for business rendezvous. On the day in question, he was meeting La Victime to demand that replay his own. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what he told me to do. I had no choice. I carried La body and La inconsist and Maggie out of La dining area and into the kitchen. After that, I just tried to forget what I had seen. I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hands was Mr. Furio Tiger. I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. Poison and the lottery ticket that were found in this defendant's apron pocket, was that your doing as well? No, I knew nothing about that. Making it look like it was Maggie who had done it, I was not. It's despicable. Mr. Godot, you will summon this Furio Tiger as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today. So we will adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow. "30 minutes. What? The trial will go on. I see to it myself. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand, not a minute more." How the... Don't sit back and relax yet. Try it. No one knows if the chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go either way. Very well, your request is granted, Mr. Godot. We will resume once Mr. Tiger is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for 50-minute recess. Hell yeah, boys. We did it. Yep, saving. What? No. Yes. What? No. Yes. Okay. January 8th. District Court Defendant Lobby number 1. I really wanna finish it. Oh my god. So we are finally going to see the tiger on the stand. We almost got this case won now, Nick. I wish I could agree. Huh? When I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now, he said he was just doing what the tiger told him to do. But Godot picked up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he testified is the truth. You mean you think Mr. Armstrong was lying? I don't know, but if that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. I get the feeling that we don't have the case-making evidence we are going to need. Hey, Paul! Detective Gumshoe. What are you so jumpy about, Detective? Your hair's standing on end. Hey, that's the pot calling the need to kettle black little Miss Top Nut. It's not Top Knot. It's Top Crack. Never mind about the hair. Just calm down, alright? I can't stand still when I don't have a job to do. I kinda get wound up. Ah, no kidding. Gotta have something you need me to do, pal. Anything. Well, hey, I'm gonna take a jog back down to the bricks and get some prints analyzed for you if you got an hour. An hour? The trial will have to reconvene down then. But Nick, we still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right? True. There's some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag. Really stuck. You said you could get some fingerprint analysis done in an hour? You bet. In that case, would you mind checking the prints on this for me? My attorney's badge, dude. If you're going back to the station anyway, could you find out whose prints are on this? Oh, hey, that's the small bottle I gave back to you this morning, right? Yeah, I think it's time we solved the last mystery of who the prints on it belong to. Sure thing, pal. Actually, that's been nagging at me too. Small bottle given to Detective Gumshoe. Fuck, I'll get this off to the lab right away. Just make sure you don't lose the case before I get back. This is pretty much the final showdown, I guess. It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys. January 8th, 1:56 PM, District Court, Courtroom number 4. Court will now reconvene. Mr. Godot, did you find this Furio tiger? I even tamed him for you. It was a free cop job, no problem. Tamed him? The guy's name may be Furio Tiger, but come on. He's pretty lively. But be careful, he still bites. Very well, please show Mr. Tiger to the stand. Witness, please, take your name and occupation. Don't hide under the table, man. There's no room for me to down there too. Would you mind? Was you say to me? Nothing. I didn't say nothing, honest. Who could have guessed that fear would induce a bad Brooklyner sent to the judge? I got business to take care of, you hear me? So who the hell called me into this hole? Was it you, Spiky? No, of course not. It was The judge? Your Honor? Oh dear, I seem to have dropped my pen. Where on earth is it? Don't mind me, just carry on with the proceedings as normal. That's it. We are doomed. Maybe you didn't hear me. I said, who the hell was it that called me here? There's no need to shout. We can all hear you. What'd you say? There's no point struggling. You're caught in a snare. The relentless snare of the law. And I'm the one hold you in. Too cool. Don't let him get the better of you, Nick. Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct? Incident? I don't know nothing about stinking cell mess, boy. You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bird? Maggie who? I had more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas. Of course, well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then. Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. Phoenix Wright. You was the one who set this up, didn't you? You're gonna regret it the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You hear what I'm saying? Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me today. Get a grip, Nick. Ah, Jesus Christ. I don't know nothing about no murder. I started up with business December last year. Spent all my time in my office. Got ways lined up to borrow cash from Tenderland every single day. You just wanna check my alibi? Just ask Violetta. Ah, at least I found my pen. Very well then, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. What is it, please? Witness if you could refrain from shouting out louder. I know the kind of games that guy in blue plays. That lowlife ain't no lawyer. Just punches away your stupid details till he wins. Lowlife? Actually, Furio Tiger, you are so right about now. Like, this is what Christoph has been saying. And Christoph was right from the very beginning. This guy is no lawyer. Because there is no lawyers playing as Phoenix Wright. Normally. I mean, there are lawyers playing this game, but most of the player base are not lawyers. And Phoenix also is questionable lawyer. This is my last cup of coffee, Furio Tiger, in real life as well. So, man up, listen up, Smarty. Every time you ask me something that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna pay you $50,000. You're gonna borrow the cash from me. That's one loan contract I refuse to sign. I don't think it's gonna hurt when you tangle with a tiger. Ha! I love a good spectator sport. Just a minute. That's really not. This witness is, how can I put it, a hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bedside and he'll bite everyone's heads off. Yours too. Very well. I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here. He's better be listening. I said I got no business to take care of. Big business. I got a business there. If I don't speak now, I ain't gonna catch my bus. The court will impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony. Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. You can do it, Nicholas. Come out from the under there already, would you, Maya? The tiger's alibi. I don't know nothing about nobody. Yeah, sure. Are you sure about that? We are talking about 1 month ago, you know. You will see this thief. That's how sharp my secretary is. Sharp? He's talking about Viola Cadaverine. She writes everything in my scheduler. December, mainly in the office. That's what it says, so that's where I was. That seems like rather a sketchy schedule. There he goes again. What the tiger did all December isn't the issue. Press harder. Mr. Tiger, what you see? If you wouldn't mind going into a bit more detail. This is a dead end, right? And you know it. Remember the rules. No, it's essential that we establish the witness alibi accurately. I agree. The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in the office that day too? Maybe you ain't listening. Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meeting all day with a bunch of cats. Wanted to do business with me. I never see that young kid before. I do believe the witness's last statement was important. Mr. Goro, if you could please. Mr. Tiger, the court asks you to add your last statement to the testimony. Don't let the animal beat you. Be a man, Your Honor, ask him yourself. That day you're talking about, I was in the office too. I never see that kid before. my throat. That's why I wanna end it. Mr. Tiger, you claim you didn't know Mr. Egg, Glen Egg, but it appears that Mr. Egg knew you. What? Mr. Egg left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the tiger. And the date? December 3rd. December 3rd? That's the day of the murder. So, Mr. Tiger, I submit that you indeed know one Mr. Glen Egg, because on the very day of the incident you met with him. Not bad, you actually not bad. Sorry? I was just messing with you to see how good you were. Did you hear that, Nicholas? He said you're not bad. That's one compliment I can do without, plus he's lying through his teeth. Witness, please remember that your under oath lies will be not tolerated. He's calling me a liar? Is that what you do? So you're saying that your claim to have never seen that kid before is the truth? I said I'm dead serious. Just better believe that's the truth. Then I would say that gives me the time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. That is why you testify for the court again, Mr. Tiger. Oh yes, would you mind indulging the court, witness? He's never actually met the victim? That's got to be a lie right there. It's time I nail this guy. Victim Glen Egg. I ain't no liar. Never met Glen Egg. There was some lame guy with that name though. Wanted to borrow cash from me. I set up a meeting with the guy at my office, Tenderlander. I waited around for him, but he ain't ever showed up. I ain't ever been to Tribulations joint use here. Oh, I can actually... I don't even have to press any statement, I just have to press that matches. I see that all seems perfectly logical. You had arranged to meet with the victim, but he didn't show up. I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead. Very well, you may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Didn't I tell you I get a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. That bill's going straight to you, Wright. Grr. Mr. Tiger, is there something you would like to tell the court about these matches? Matches? What she was talking about? We found them in your office at Tenderlander. They are from that restaurant. If you've really never been to Tribulations before, what was the book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk? He's been snooping around in my stuff now too, wise guy. What are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no broad controlling me. Ain't no, what the fuck. Order. Well, witness, I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? Sorry, I'm terribly sorry, forgive me. I know, pussycat, I don't go back on what I said. But okay, I was at the joint that day. What? But listen good, alright? I might even be there, but still, never met that kid. Well. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony. Testimonies fly. I'm this close to proving it was him. He did meet Glenag that day, and he did put poison in his coffee. He must have. A Trisbian. I was supposed to meet with that kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw an ugly scene. That guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the police wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cops' sirens on my way out and went straight back to my office. I see. You didn't actually meet with him in the end then. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Hold it. If I wait around here any longer, I ain't even gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions. Ha, no problem. Anytime Wright presses you on something irrelevant, I see he pays a penalty. Mr. Godot, that's my job. Your job is to put the gavel down. Godot, that's my job. Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it. Yes, sir. The Special Express ain't cheap, right? Just so you know, since you're paying. Oh man, doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here? So you are something of a loan collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tiger? No one escapes the tiger's clutches. Well, I'm something of a light detecting pro. And no one escapes the Phoenix clutches. I think it's time we got something straight. What's this, right? A new line of irrelevant questioning? There are the floor plans of the crime scene. You see, you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tiger. From there, your field of vision would have covered an area something like this. Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat. Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head. Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. If the court would think back, you will remember that between each of tables, there are partitions. Is a tall partition. Why, that's true. Now look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. Vegeta? So from the entrance of Trisbian, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day, because you met with him. Wrong! Have you forgotten the old man testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table. The defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim witnessed by Mr. Kuro was not Glenag, but a fake. What? In order to have Mr. Kuro falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out of charade. That will do. This trial has gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? You say the killer murdered Glenag, and then impersonated his victim in performance for Victor Kudo. In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal to the court. Godot. Obviously, the killer is a Furio Tiger. No one else could have done it. What? Well, witness? Nah, that's cute. You think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe you don't understand. The tiger is the king of the jungle. So I dare you to say it again. Come on, you got the guts? You can't threaten me, Mr. Tiger? It's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright! Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. He's good guts, I give you that. Mr. Wright, do not leave me to handle this alone. Huh. Perhaps I can end this embarrassment. Mr. Godot. Let's just go back over Mr. Godot's testimony one more time. The old man didn't see just the victim. Oh no, no, no. The serving girl bowed him Javakino. The fact remains he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee. Yes, it was very impressive, Mr. Godot. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. Ah. Found your pennant list, right? It was in my pocket. But anyway, Mr. Kuro witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenagg, and the waitress from behind. Yes, your point, Mr. Wright? I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenagg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show. What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well? The defendant, Miss Bird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident, and someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her. Who on earth was it? Who was this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed? It was Maya, I guess. Who is this woman? Her name is Viola Cadaverini. She's an employee of Tenderlander. She's making a big mistake. Do you know who Violet the grandfather is? You better go home in an armor truck tonight if you know what I mean. Stop shaking, Nick. Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bride, has stated the following. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table with nobody but Miss Bride seems to have seen Bird, the earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when the eardrum was ruptured, and the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There is only one logical explanation that clears up all of these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice. Once for real and once for show. While Mr. Furio Tiger, the only person who could have committed the crime, is you. Witness, what have you got to say? That's cute. Sorry? You're alright. I could do with a guy like you around. What do you mean? Okay, I'm on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get me on my meeting now, but I'm gonna give you use one more thing to think about before I go. Something to think about? You got it all wrapped up nice, huh? Right. But you missed out one more real important thing. But that can be. I was in the joint that day, and I met that kid too. But I couldn't have poisoned him, you just hear? What do you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tiger? Huh. What a troublemaker. Troublemaker? Looks like we are going to need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony. Indeed, witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I will give you one more chance to testify. What happened the day at Resvian between yourself and the victim? This should be easy. Yeah, I loaned Clash about $100,000. That day we was due to have a little chat. That kid had hit his payback date, see? So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won, $500,000. Got lucky, you know, real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she's done, everything would have been over. Ah, I see that principal amount you loaned to Mr. Glenn Elg was $50,000. Yeah, well, just got the wig to take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know. That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal. And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question. Yeah, he was one lucky kid. Got that $500,000 just in time. So I ain't have no reason to kill a kid. If I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case. His motive? He has to have one, but what is it? We already know Phoenix. This we should know. How much did he have left on his debt? You want it in round figures? About $100,000. That's the whole amount. We are talking about a guy who had 58 cents in his wallet. What? You're telling me he wasn't even gonna pay for the coffee? He certainly seems to have been a brave man, this Mr. Elg. That guy was smooth. I tell you, he was real smooth. You have your money in less than 5 minutes. That's what he has to say to me. The guy then calls me the Tender Tiger. He was skating on thin ice with me. Was there anyone else in the restaurant at the time? I don't remember. If there was no one there, I will wear that ridiculous tiger shirt for a month. His arms from Maggie, and if I'm right, Final Cadaveri and you were all that there in the time. So the victim had intended to repay you from his lottery winnings from the beginning. Seems that way to me. But you wouldn't normally expect to win a lottery, would you? Ha! The undying belief that your next roll will end the worst losing streak you ever had. That's what defies a true gambler. Makes it sound so cool. Don't be tempted, Nick. You haven't got the willpower for it. All I know is the kid took a shot and he got lucky in the end. So how much were you expecting him to pay back you on the day? But Justin, the whole package, $100,000 including interest. That's a real heavyweight punch. Once a client misses a repayment, you call the whole loan in. Gonna make it in my word, that's all you gotta know. And how many times had Mr. Egg been late with his repayments? Once. How much was he supposed to pay back every month? $50. Sounds like Mr. Egg was in a really sticky spot. Yeah, $50 a month? He would never pay that huge loan off. Not it. That's not it. I just wanted to end this, like... Probably that's how he wanted to. Let's see this sentence. The waitress, you mean? The girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? If she hadn't got in the way, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, over and done with. Maybe I should push a little on this. That's how things should have been. What do you mean things would have been over and done with? And use order or what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000 back. That's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before the witness got in the way. As far as I can tell from the witness testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tiger had no motive for killing the victim. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect what you just said. The tiger motive, huh? I was after $100,000. I didn't have no other reason to kill the guy. So you just intended to get back $100,000. Mr. Egg owed you, correct? I loaned the guy cash, so that's right. So that's my right. Unfortunately for Mr. Egg, I don't believe the $100,000 is what you were really after. What are you getting at? Right. What else would a moneylender be after than money? Oh, the moneylender was after money, but money in a totally different league. The kind of money that a single disc like this would fetch. What is that? Computer virus, Your Honor. A virus called MC Bomber. Computer virus? What does one of those do? A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer. Computer? What does one of those do? I guess the bread isn't the only part of his honor that is from the Stone Age. I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is the important point. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $million on the black market. Several $million? Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business, but in this case, the very fact that Glenagg had no way to repay money is crucial. What? Glenagg was a programmer, highly skilled programmer. The skill was the collateral Mr. Egg put it up in order to borrow the money. Objection! You're trying to suggest the witness's motive was to get hold of that program? Exactly. The witness may have poor fashion sense, but he is by no means an idiot, right? A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder. Of course he could, provided that he had time. But what if he had needed the money right then? When the pressure's on, the luxury of choice tends to disappear. It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? Why did Mr. Tiger need the money to the tune of $1 million? It's this one. In December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital, where she underwent surgery. How much do you know? Those medical papers documents the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. And yet, when the payment was due last month, you somehow managed to pay it in full. $1 million? Preposterous sum. Someone should sue those HMOs. Huh. No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind off it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue. But Mr. Tiger had no choice but to pay, because of his very life depended on it. Order. You say his life depended on it, Mr. Bright? Indeed it did, simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini. Did you say Cadaverini? Bruto Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? Makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Bruto Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glenn Egg's life to pay your debt. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tiger's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Glen Egg had no way of paying back $100,000 and Mr. Tiger knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tiger would prefer to say it never happened, but he can't, and neither can I. The lottery win. Exactly, at the 11th hour, Mr. Egg won the half a million dollars on the lottery, which left Mr. Tiger with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD, at least no legitimate way. So I put salt in his coffee, get wrecked. So he resorted to illegitimate means. Yeah, salt in coffee, dude. That's crazy! He murdered Glen Egg and then made his next move to frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tiger posed as Glen Egg, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Mr. Bird. And then they reenacted the voting in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify as Mr. Victor Kudo. Like I said, right, that's crazy. No one could pull off the stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept in the dark about it. But Mr. Armstrong was in it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godot? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too, $500,000 in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tiger's plan. My head hurts from this. I want this game to end now. Why is this case so long? You put on a good show, Spiky. If you just wanna stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. You're saying I dressed up like that kid, created a witness and framed someone? If I did something crazy like that, I will leave your trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that. I agree. You too? Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out. What? Another one, Mr. Wright? Interesting. Why don't you fill us in? Fill us all in, Mr. Wright. What was this trick you say Mr. Tiger performed to frame the accused? Was I wrong? What the fuck happened? And what's the relevance of that, right? It's just a little intro. An intro into what? It seems all this has been an elaborate trick on the part of the defense. Fuck you guys! Fuck you! You made me believe I had it! Yeah, I was like, okay, that seems to be the relevant evidence. Or you know, I die if I miss this. Oh, the paper badge, yeah! I mean, what on earth is that? What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish intimate. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tiger, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago in this very court, you posed as me. What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Right? Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you, standing in here, this very court, a mere month ago. The Finnish rifles will put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I have ever seen. Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man? Are you prepared to take the stand and testify it was him? Hey, forget about it, yeah? I wouldn't do something like that, not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh? Have you no pride, sir? This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, right here in court we deal with people's lives. Mr. Godot is right. Your Honor, speaking for myself, I am absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over this court as the judge, with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it. That's bullshit. If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tiger are dubious for sure, but not conclusive. But we have come so far. So you say he impersonated Glenai, you say he impersonated you, but none of that adds up to the murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. Ha! Sucks to be you, right? Don't mess with the tiger or you're gonna get mauled, you just got that? All we managed to do here was chase him around a bit, but I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Huh. Looks like I haven't been needing a refill. If I just had one more piece of evidence, and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook. This witness's cross-examination is over. You are free to go, Mr. Tiger. Hold it. Your Honor, sir! Wait! Detective Gumshoe? Sorry I took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works. So here it is. My heart's counting on this too. What is it, detective? Isn't it obvious, Paul? It's the final decisive piece of evidence. What? Gumshoe, you did it. Best detective ever in this game. Fulbright can suck dick. Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab. The results? About the prince, pal, from this medicine bottle. Oh, so do you know who the prince belonged to now? Do you think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know. So tell us, they are the tigers, right? I knew it. You bet. Clear as crystal, all over the bottle. Yeah, Furio Tiger's Path Prince, alright? That's great, we got him now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You have hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick. I know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on this bottle now. Huh? What? Why not? What we need to produce at the stage of the trial is irrefutable evidence that Tiger put poison in Glennax's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are in this bottle, it really doesn't make any difference now. I knew it. Great, no matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use. Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. This was our last chance to help Maggie, and I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright, I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal. Detective Gumshoe? Maggie? You've been working on something for me? Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. And I'm detective. We are supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry, I got you. Detective Gumshoe, wait! He's gone. Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick? I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. Let's just end it. Fuck it. Mr. Wright, yes, Your Honor? I granted you a recess so you could prepare this decisive evidence you've discovered. Yes. Don't keep us all in the suspense. Try to show us. Naturally, we can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can we? can't we? Think, Phoenix, don't let Gumsh's hard work go to waste. How much more of my time you're gonna waste? I ain't been to no court before, but used lawyers sure know how to blow things out of proportion. No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Well, I know I can't prove anything with this new evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here, but maybe if he thinks he got me beat, he will let his guard down a bit. Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Present this final piece of evidence to the court. This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victims? Your Honor? Naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tiger. What? But Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone in here knows that this bottle contains, except one man, one person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark. My prints are on that fancy looking bottle, is that what you're saying? Well, what the hell is in it anyway? A phony trial, a phony lawyer and phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Mr. Tiger, this is the decided piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains potassium cyanide. This bottle contains potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide? Poison used to murder Mr. Egg, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tiger, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that? You make a good clown, you know that. What? Because ain't never gonna get this to stick. You just make me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool Tiger? A bluff? I can see straight through you, Phoenix Wright. That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it. No, this is the bottle. We found traces of the poison in. Don't mess with the Tiger. You're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown. It was made of glass. A cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it. Godolds be like. Got him, at last. What? Why is everyone gone quiet? I said the bottle. Is this bottle you're referring to? Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle the cyanide was in. But you ain't gonna find any prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy looking suit fool you people. That lawyer's just playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell that guy where to go. You still haven't figured it out. Don't you realize what you just said? What I said? What did I just say? You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. But just now you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison. You don't know who he's messing with. I'm the Tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. You think I'm gonna let some jumped up suit get the better of me? Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. The phony trial with the phony lawyer was all played out by you, the biggest phony of all. What's going on? It looks like a blackout. Well done. Try it. I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Savor it. While you watch the police restrain your pay. Mr. Wright, you caught the tiger by his toe. But if this one hollers, he won't be let go. Now then, how are things going with Mr. Tiger, Mr. Godot? He's being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glen Elk, Your Honor. Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify the very grave error. This bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney. Yes, she was. And in the absence of genuine evidence. But the tiger made one mistake. Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for the slip of the tongue. The tiger is a truly frightening criminal. Ha! The truly frightening one is that the defense attorney over there. Godot. Well, I am now in position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant Maggie Bird. Ah, finally. It's been going for 3 hours now, I think. Or more than 3 hours. 4 hours. The fuck? That is all. This court is adjourned. January 8th, 4:10 p.m. This record defendant lobby number 1. Mr. Wright, I'm at loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. Where were you, Maya? I'm so mad when Mr. Wright landed me on all the trouble a month ago, but now I feel like I can forgive him. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger. Look, Nick. In the doorway. Detective Gumshoe. Oh, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around, pal. Wait. Detective Gumshoe. Oh yeah. Congratulations, Maggie. Thanks. I knew you were innocent all along. Why didn't you say that in your testimony then? Well, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around. Wait up, detective. Just run off. Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got the medications, but that wasn't even of any use. But it's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles. Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him. Can't you put in a good word for him, Nick? Yeah, Maya is right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie, you know, as Detective Gumshoe has been really worried about you through all of this. I wanted to believe that, sir. But on the first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up. You don't have any choice, Maggie. He's the detective. He has to report the facts. He doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it. I got to prove that to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. My badge. Here you are. My attorney's badge. A present to celebrate your freedom. That's my attorney's badge. A present from Detective Gumshoe. Because he's an attorney. Made with ton of love. He said you lost weight and he has worried about you. Detective Gumshoe? I actually really like weenies, you know. Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know. Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it? Is it okay if I eat this now? So how is it, Maggie? It's really good. So the case of Phony vs. Genu comes to an end. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And who knows, maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. No, that's a lie. we'll see about that in the investigations. Episode 3, Recipe for Turnabout, the end. Finally. Oof, oof, oof. God damn it, now I really have to piss. The g. Okay. Holy crap, look at this. Okay, well, I gotta use the toilet machine in our house. You know, there's like a 5 meters toilet in my room, but it's in the other room. And I gotta use that to sleep. So, see you guys next time with Ace Attorney.